はい、お待たせいたしました。続いてのゲームは、続いてのゲームが、ちょっと待ってね。続いてのゲームが、ホライゾンゼロドーンというゲームになります。こちら解説者の方がいらっしゃいませんので、解説希望の方などがおりましたら、お声掛けください。またね、チャットの方でも、解説の方お待ちしております。ちょっと私はこのゲームをプレイしたことがありませんので、ぜひね、皆さん、コメントなり、解説者の希望ということで、ぜひ、名乗りを上げていただきたいなというふうに思います。で、僕の調べた限りの情報を申しますと、カテゴライズが NG プラスウルトラハードということで、ウルトラハードは、難易度のことで、最大最高難易度ですかね。この NG プラスっていうのが、ニューゲームプラスということらしくてですね、クリアデータのデータを引き継いで新しく、ニューゲームで始めることができるということなので、レベルが高い状態で、新しくゲームが始められるといったような状態になってるみたいです。なので、おそらく、データを準備した状態で、ウルトラハードをプレイするような形になるのかなというふうに思います。これ、CM みたいなあれですかね。確かに朝にふさわしいゲームですね。夜明けという意味があります。さらには、ドーンか。ドーンには夜明けという意味がありますね。結構ね、今サマーセールなんで、SGDQ に出てるゲームがセールなのが多いですよね。SGDQ でイージーでやっていた気がする。なるほど。欲しいゲームが無限に増えますね。このゲームはでもプレステ用だから、サマーセールに入ってないのかな。This is Summer Games Done Quick 2021 online, powered by Twitch. We are getting cozy. We are right in the thick of some great speedruns. 朝5時ですからね、太陽出てますから、明るくなっております。I've got so many donations here, so many tickets to the train. You all are fantabulous. In fact, 今から起きて見始めたという方もいらっしゃいますかね。What an awesome pace we're at. This is fantastic. ぜひね、皆さん無理せずに、楽しんでいただければいいかなと思います。They say I only discovered Horizon Zero Dawn at the end of last year, and it easily became one of my favorite games of the last decade. Thanks for giving it the attention it deserves. They're of course talking about our next game, Horizon Zero Dawn. One of my favorites. If you told me I would be able to play a game about shooting robot dinosaurs with a bow and arrow, I would not have believed you. But we live in such a fantastic time, don't we? 向こうは、だいたい12時間ぐらいのあれなので、時差があるので、そうですね、ゴールデンタイムかな。だいたい夕方あたりだと思いますね、ちょうど。5時。でも昼頃ぐらいですよね。ね、ぜひストーリーとかゲーム性とかそういうのだけでもね、ぜひコメントでも教えていただけると非常に嬉しいので、もし何か知っていることがあればぜひ教えてください。世界観がマジで好きだった。確かに世界観がね、なんかすごいグラフィックとかもすごい綺麗で、そういった楽しみ方もできそうですね。Commander Keen, thank you so much. We're at almost 58,000 out of 90,000 for that. Chat, you're doing amazing. You're so cute. I'm loving this. I'm feeling that energy. Thank you. I've got $50 from Kara Corgi. They say, I am so excited for the Horizon speedrun. This was one of the first games that lit my passion for gaming in general. Kara, I love to hear that. I love hearing about how people get into this hobby, the first speedruns they see, the first games they play. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I've got $50 from Zeto Viker. They say must have small neck plush. That is an
あ、これは
adorable
違うバー
plush,
ジョン
one
か。
of
違うエデ
many
ィションなのか。
fabulous prizes available here at SGDQ2021 online.
機械の共有みたいが、ハッキングして倒した素材が
I
落ち
got
る。
more ticket. People are jumping on this train while it's moving.
ドイ
Be
ドハン
safe,
ティングゲーム。
everyone.
そういうゲーム。
$25 from Beatlift says choo choo for the KZ Fru Fru. Love it. $50 from Dot Sidious, $25 train, but I'm watching with a friend. Going towards making Snake wear a
なる
tuxedo
ほど。機械銃をハンティングするっていうような
hilarious.
ゲームなん
Dot
ですね。
Sidious
なる
there
ほ
is
ど。
referencing one of our bonus incentives here for Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater HD. There's a tuxedo suit incentive that's down the line. It's got
けどクリアタイムが
8400
だい
right
たい
now
2
at
時間ぐらいっ
20,000.
てことなんで、
So let's
結
do
構
it in
長
this
丁
order.
場に
Let's
な
hit
りそう
that
ですね。
400k by getting Grand Theft Auto 3 unlocked.
物語としては、主人公や人類の記憶探し。おー。
Because I mean, when you're here in Snake
なるほ
Eater,
ど。
you've got to see
記
someone
憶
in
を
the
探
suit.
してい
That's
く
just
と。
the mood, right?
モグラみたい相手にするところがきつかった。
Melina gives $125. They said,
い
I
いですね。
love
皆さんこんな
Dishonored
感じ
so
でどんど
much,
ん
so
情
I
報を
had
出
to
していただ
donate
ける
this
と。
during this amazing run. Thank you, Melina. That was such a fabulous run. I love
主
watching that
人
game.
公の
Boy, they
生い
beat
立
it
ちと
faster
こ
than
の
I
世
can
界
even
の生い
think
立
of
ちを知
credits,
っていく中
honestly.
で、この世界とか自分の
$50 from the Muznik.
歴史という
I
か、
heard
を
something
解
about
明
some
してい
sort
くよう
of
なストーリーです
400k
か
hype
ね。
train. I'd like 2 tickets,
何か
please.
機械銃って。なるほ
Muznik,
ど。
thank you. Take your seat at the back. We are cruising. In fact, we are now less than 5,000 away from the 400k goal. Keep it rolling. Here's more tickets coming in. One for J-Buck for $25. They say, here's my ticket for this train. And
どんなね、
$25
テクニ
from
ックがあるのかは
Gold
ちょっ
Free
とわからないですが、
They say, all aboard.
壁
Let's
抜け
get
とかがあるか、なか
GTA
な
3 on
か楽
the
しみですね。
docket. With this energy chat, there is no way that we're gonna miss this.
なので、ウルトラハートだと途中での難易度変更が不可能ということですので、難易度変更を駆使した RTA のテクニックとかはなさそうですね。もう単純に難しい RTA になりそうですね。そしたら。氷を生かすか。戻すか。でも、選択を迫られるシーンもあるという感じですかね。お、空中浮遊バグ。これは楽しみですね。空中浮遊バグは、これ楽しみですよ。そうしたそんな情報をちょっと調べてみようかな。
This is just making me all misty inside. I love all this support for such a great cause.
あ、なんか調べて出て
Thank
く
you
る
so
かな。
much.
と、
Speaking of a great cause, just a reminder that all of this generosity from you is going towards Doctors Without Borders. Doctors Without Borders, or MSF, is an international medical humanitarian aid organization that works in over 70 countries around the world, providing life-saving medical humanitarian care and speaking out about what they see in those areas. Their work aids people based solely on need, irrespective of race, religion, gender, or political affiliation. MSF relies mainly on the generosity of individual donors, with over 90% of MSF's income coming from private donors giving small amounts.
操作情報があれば紹介しようと思ったんですが、ライドオンしたり味方にもできるから。その機械銃に乗って移動したりとか、機械銃と一緒に戦ったりするのができるって感じなんですかね。高度な文明が滅んでから1000年後の世界が本作の舞台。なるほど。スキルの名前。なるほど、なるほど。攻撃が3倍になると、そのスキルは手に入れると。結構でかそうですけどね、RT 的にも。攻撃力が3倍になるのは。
And everyone, that is going to do it for me. I have been your host, the Kyle Thomas. This has been an absolute honor. So happy to be here. Be well, be good to each other. Thank you for your generosity. We're going to take it over to Fiesel, interviewing KZ Fru about Grand Theft Auto 3. Take it away, y'all.
バックに頼ったけど、なるほど。機械銃を雨が捕まえるときにトラップとか、そういう仕掛けを使うんですけど、確かに時間はかかりそうですね、そういうのと。これまたトーク番組始まりましたね。
So hello, KZ Fruit, and thank you very much for talking with me today.
What's going on, Feezy?
All right, well, I got some questions for you.
All right, shoot.
Okay, so these Grand Theft Auto games, they tend to make excellent speedruns. There's a lot of great Grand Theft
そうです
Auto
ね、ニューゲー
speedruns
ム
out
プ
there.
ラス
But
なので、
GTA
おそら
3
く
in
スキルと
particular,
か
what
盛れるも
makes
のは全
that
部持っ
unique
てるんじゃ
compared
ない
with
で
the
しょう
other
かね。
games in the series?
Well, as far as questions go, that's an easy one, Feezy. So
なる
GTA
ほど、そういう
3
考
is
え方か。
specifically
スキル
interesting,
とか
right?
も、
It's
レベルと
the
か、
first
スキ
time
ルと
they
かも、
explored the
もうがっ
third
つり
dimension for the third title.
つけて
Very
始められるっていう
sophisticated
感じですか
stuff.
ね。
And because it is the earliest iteration of these games, it also has some exclusive tech, as we like to call it. So, for example, Claude, main character Claude, man's got the hops. All right, he's got the hops. Everybody always asks me like, "What's your favorite mission? What's your favorite radio
練習要素
station?"
が
No
め
one
ちゃく
asks
ちゃ
me
多
who
い。
has the best hops. Well, I will tell you who has the best hops. It's Claude. I will jump
正
from
面
one
から殴
island
りかかると
to
普通
the
にやられ
other
ることが多いゲーム
seriously.
で、
The entire
通り道を
chasm
判断しての地
crossed.
道な罠ムーブが
Only
面白い。
Claude can do that. What do you
お
think
ー、
Tommy's gonna do it?
なるほ
Fuck.
ど。
Tommy can fly a
敵が
helicopter.
ま
That's
あ、
cool.
シンプルにめちゃくちゃ
Okay.
強いからっていう感じなんですか
Claude
ね。
can hop. All right.
うーん。
So we're going to be doing a lot of hopping. We're going to be doing just a lot of interesting things with the replay
いいですね。こう
system.
通常プレイの
I
情報がかなり
explained
入
to
っ
you
てきたの
earlier,
で、
Feasel, about
だん
demos
だん
in
僕もこの
games.
RT を見た時の比較ができるようにな
GTA
ってきまし
3
た
actually
ね。
has the same sort of feature, but they didn't implement it with the best. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. It is good. It is good. But there's things you can do. So we can basically have two Claudes at once. We can be in one place, but really also be in another place. And that creates really interesting things. And just exactly what does that change in the run? Some of that you'll have to tune in for. Drop those $90,000, people, please.
一応なんかニューゲームプラスの世界記録としては、
We are.
まあ、ロード含めて1時間45分22秒
because they put it in there so that you
みたい
can
ですね、
record
大体。
your runs, and that's a pretty, for that time, to have a demo recording feature built into, a game
まあ、
like
そ
this
れ
is
くらい
pretty
で、
new. But it's interesting because it's not just like happening in the sandbox.
タイマーがストップ
It's
するん
kind
じ
of
ゃない
there's
か
kind
な
of
と
this
思いま
blurring of the
す。
line between like reality and what's going on in your recording, right? So there's just all kinds of abuses of that technology there.
Definitely. At some point, like the wanted level, the cop attention that you might receive for Grand Theft of Auto, at some point, that doesn't necessarily matter. We can just infinitely bribe the cops away with this little implementation. It makes for really interesting stuff. There's also just a lot of exploits that you can do with this that aren't really done in any percent. Right? In any percent, we're just critical pathing, beginning to end, boom, boom. Just get there, get it done. But there's just
そうし
so
たら
many
です
facets
ね、
to it that are really
まあ、今
interesting.
から起きてね、視聴してくださっている方もいらっしゃると思います
I
の
know there's a
で、
lot of
まあ、
like
改めて
breakable
今回の
mechanics in this
イ
game
ベン
that
ト
you
に
can
ついて
use
説
in
明をさ
addition
せ
to
てい
just
ただきたい
replays.
と
Are
思
there
いま
any
す。
particular cool tricks or cool sections of the
現在
game
こちらの
that
ジ
you
ャパ
want to
ニー
draw
ズ
people's
リストリー
attention
ムで
to?
は、
What do you
海
really
外オン
think's
ライ
gonna
ン
get the
RT イ
crowd
ベント
going
の
this run?
サマーゲームズダウン
Oh
クイック
man.
2021の
So
様子を公認で
Yeah,
日
where's
本語
Ian
ミラー
at, man?
配信を
where
して
did
います
yeah, that's why it's the bonus
サマーゲー
game,
ムズ
man.
ダウンクイック
That's
2021
why
とは、
the
ゲ
money
ーム
is
ズダウン
so
クイッ
high
クの
for
チャンネ
it.
ル
It
で
is
行われ
such
るオンライン
I
チャ
could
リティ
go
イ
on
ベン
all
トで
day
す。
about it, but I'll try to give you
ゲームのや
the
り込み
full
要素の一つである
1-1
リアルタイムアタッ
for
ク、
GTA
通称 RTA を視聴していただくことで
So
寄
the
付を
start
募
of
ってい
this
ます。
run, it is
今回
pretty
集まった寄
technical.
付金
It's
は
pretty
国
broken.
境な
It's
き
pretty
医師団に
glitchy.
寄
You're
付
gonna
され
see a
ます。
lot of strange
国境なき医
replays
師団
right
は
out the gate. You're
国
gonna see
立、
me
中
just
立、
finish
公平の
missions.
立場で
Just
医療、
magically finish
人道援助
missions.
活動を行
You
う
gotta
民間
you gotta
非営利
donate to
の
find
国
it.
際団体です。
And the middle section of
寄
the
付と関
game,
連して特
that's
定の
just
ゲームに
pretty
は
much
コア
just
難易度への変
classic
更や
straight
エン
up
ディングの選択等
speeding
が、
GTA.
予定されてお
You're
り、
just
各項目
driving,
ごとに
you're
設定
shooting,
され
you're
てい
doing
た目
everything.
標の
You
寄付
close
金
your
額を
eyes, you
達成し
picture
た際
Grand
に
Theft Auto.
行
That's
われ
probably
ま
what
す。
I'm doing. Going around,
ま
blowing
た、寄
things
付金
up,
額を表に見立
causing
てた
havoc.
ビッ
It's
ト
all
に
good
よっ
stuff.
てキャラクター名や選択肢など
Now,
が
the
決定される
last
こともあります。
stage of this run,
寄
it's
付額
pretty
に対
easy
する
to
報
find
酬 URL
because
は、
there's three islands in Grand Theft
今
Auto
ね、コメントの方
3.
にもあ
See
る
a
と
lot of
思
that
いま
number
す
in
が、
here for some reason. But there's three islands.
公式
So
の
you
寄
got
付
the
ページ
first,
で
the
したり、
second, and
ビッ
then
ト
when
ボ
you
ー
get
の
to the
URL から投
third,
票する
you
こ
get to
と
the
がいた
airport.
だけま
Now, the
す。
airport's fun because
URL を
you get
ち
the
ょっと
plane.
ペタッと貼り
You
ま
get
す
the
ね。
dodo.
はい。
Some people probably remember
ど
the
ん
dodo. You play
まあ、こちらからね、
GTA 3.
寄付とかもすることがで
Probably
きます
wasn't able
し、
to get very far
ま
off
た
the ground.
GDQ
You
の
know, like
ツイッチ
a
のチャンネルですね。本家の方の GDQ の
child
チャン
taking
ネ
the
ル、
first
ツイッチ
steps.
チャンネ
They
ルを、
stumble a lot.
ビッ
They
ツや
fall
サ
over.
ブスクライブを行うこ
Well,
とでも寄付する
I've
こと
been
ができ
walking
ま
for a
す。
long time,
で、また、GDQ の公式グッズを購入することでも間接的に寄付することができます。こちらの、グッズを購入する URL は、コメントの方にも貼ってありますので、そちらをご参照ください。直接寄付はカードに、クレジットカードの、ね、種類によっては直接寄付ができない場合もあるようですので、ぜひこういったサブスクライブでしたり、グッズを、購入するなどの方法でね、ぜひ一度チャレンジしてみてはいかがでしょうか。はい、ということになります。ジャパニーズリストリームではね、このような SGDQ のような海外のスピードランイベントを今後もミラー配信する予定ですので、Twitter や Twitch のフォローの方もよろしくお願いいたします。
Well, you excited for the run? You think we're going to make it?
We're gonna make it, man.
I know we're going to make it. I know we are.
There's four ways we
とい
can
うこ
make
とで、続いてのゲームが、
follow me very close. There's four ways to make it.
ホライゾン、
Cash, money,
ね、
dollar, bills.
ホライゾンゼロダウンですね。ド
We're
ーン
gonna
か。
need
ホ
all
ライ
of
ゾンゼロ
that.
ド
We're
ーン
gonna need all the support, all the chat, draw all
に
the
なりま
energies.
す。
We got an APB out for checkbooks and credit cards.
現在は間のトークショーですかね。トークショーと言えばいいですかね。本家配置のトークショーが今、画面に映し出されております。
Everything I can to the table for the people at home, so and for GDQ and for MSF.
Absolutely. I 100% believe it. It does sound like this is pretty amazing run, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Well, that is all the time that we have. Thank you very much, KZ, for talking with me here.
No problem, Feezy.
All right, and if you in the audience want to see this GTA 3 run happen,
ガスをか
now
けてい
is your
く。
chance to get those donations in. We're most of the way there. You have until the end of this next run. So stick around
ちなみに
for Horizon Zero
SGDQ
Dawn
は、
up next.
7月、日本時間で7月11日の、14時5分ぐらいまでやっているということですね。まだまだ、今ちょうど中間あたりですかね。中間にも行ってないか。中間にももう少しで中間ってあたりですか。まだまだね、ラインナップたくさんありますので、ぜひご覧ください。で、スケジュールの方がですね、
What's going on, everybody, and welcome back once again to Summer Games Done Quick
もしね、興味がある
2021
イベ
online.
ントとかゲ
I
ーム
am
があったら
Mr.
ぜ
Game
ひ
and Shout, and I cannot tell
楽
you
しみにしてみてく
how happy
だ
I
さ
am
い
to。be here with you all once again, doing one of my favorite things in a place that is a safe and very comfortable distance with many locked doors away
スケジュール
from
は
a particular stuffed monster that might not be named.
これやってるね。
Okay, we are going to get a couple of donations in here while we're still getting set up.
はい、こちらがね、スケジュールなのでコメントの方で確認してみてください。
I have a
はい、今からホライゾンが始まりますの
$254
で
donation、from Mott
やってお
that
り
says
ます。
Express Train to 400K.
40万ドル達成しましたね、キッキング。
I see it there. It's on the board. $400,000.
素晴らしい。
You all are amazing. Thank you so much. Oh my
拍手
goodness
拍手。
gracious. Just you read the comment and it happens. It's like magic.
寄付金がこうね、募ったから盛り上がってるって感じですかね、おそらく。
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you all so much. Please
40万ドル。4000万。4000万ですね。ゆっくり言うと4000万。素晴らしい。感覚麻痺してくるけど、4000万ってえげつないんだよな。だからね、ドル表記だとね、なんかこう、日本人の感覚的に見ると、ちょっと少なく見えちゃうけど、110円4400万ぐらい。めちゃくちゃ集まってんだよな。とんでもない数字です。4400万もとんでもないですからね、本当に。世界トップですよね、チャリティーとして。にも寄付してくれないかな。なかなか難しいんじゃないですか、それは。ファイナルストーンどんだけ買える？めちゃくちゃ買える。1個1000円とかでしたっけ？あ、始まりましたね。ありがとうございます。ドンということで、始まりました。
So this run will be New Game Plus on
なん
Ultra
か
Hard
カメライト
difficulty,
ないみたい
which
で
is
す
the hardest
ね。
difficulty in the game. And I'll explain a bit more about that once we are into the run. So, without further ado, let's just get into it. The New Game Plus, Ultra Hard. And time will start as soon as I
はい、ウ
skip
ル
the
トラ
first
ハードで
cutscene, so
ニュー
I'll
ゲーム
give
プ
you
ラ
a
スというと
3-second
こ、と
countdown
いうカ
before
テ
we
ゴリー
go.
を走っていきます。
Now, if you've played
ニューゲー
Horizon
ムプラ
Zero
ス
Dawn
なの
before,
で、
probably remember that
ク
there's
リ
a
ア後の
childhood
データを引き
section
継いだ
where
ま
you
ま
play as
新しくゲー
Aloy,
ムを始め
the
るこ
kid
とがで
version
き
of
るというこ
Aloy.
となので、お
Well,
そらく
the
スキルとか
developers
レ
were
ベルと
kind
か、
enough
そ
to
ういった
make
も
it
のは
so
完全に
New
準備し
Game
た
Plus
状態
will
で
skip
始めるような
automatically. So we
も
start
のにな
as
る
if
か
the
と
whole
思い
game.
ます。
So that's quite convenient
で、
because the
難易度は
childhood section is
最高難易度
basically
のウルトラハードと、
what's it
こちらが
called?
こう、クリア
Auto
後
scroller
じゃない
tutorial.
と選択
So
でき
New
ない
Game
ような
Plus completely
難易
skips
度
that,
で、
and
ウ
it's
ルトラ
really
ハードは
hard
ゲ
for
ーム
new
途中
sets,
の
so
難易度の変
that's
更も
awesome.
でき
Anyway,
なくなっ
let's
て
get
しまうという
started
こ
here.
とです。
3, 2, 1, go. All right,
わ
so I will also just say I
始まり
am
ました。
solo commentating this run, so hopefully I can keep you entertained throughout this
ブラッ
entire
ク。
game. And yeah,
この
as
前
you
転
can
での移
probably
動
tell
が
already,
ベーシッ
we
クに
are
なるみたいです
rolling. That
ね。
is because rolling is the fastest form of movement in this game.
めちゃくちゃ目が
It
回り
takes
そうで
about
す
2
が、
seconds for every roughly
ぐるぐる回転してい
150
きま
feet you
す。
travel in the game. So, you know, in order to go fast, we gotta roll. Which, you know, I've seen a certain
ゲームとしてはね、こう、この世界にいる機械獣をハンティングして、味方にしたり倒したり、その機械獣に乗って移動したり、みたいなことがどうもできるらしいです。
So what's gonna happen here after we come to the main gate? Well, we're gonna restart from save here. Because it's New Game Plus, you're supposed to normally get fire arrows and a tripcaster, but New Game Plus, we already have that. So going to the main gate and then restarting from save is gonna put us right next to us, so we can
最強
go
装
straight
備なん
into
で
the
すか
next
ね。
thing here.
つけてるのは
Which
ニューゲー
gonna
ムプ
lead
ラスという
us
こ
to
と
our
で、
first fight, which is gonna be with the sawtooth.
もうガチガチに強くてニューゲーム状態で、
The first fight coming up is relatively simple.
もう
I'm
グラ
gonna
フィッ
be
クがすごい
using
綺麗
this
です
weapon here,
ね。
known as the Storm Slinger, and I'll be going over my weapons a bit later in the run when there's a more
機械
time
獣
to
の
do
生
so.
産拠点を制圧してデータを手に入れる
But
必要があ
essentially,
る。
this
あ
weapon is a weapon where
な
I
る
just
ほ
want
ど。
to charge it up
機械獣を
as
作
much
って
as
る場所
possible
があるんで
because
す
it
ね。
does a lot of damage. But if I charge it too much, I will die.
なるほど、なるほど。
So first, gonna roll forward here, hit him once to get
あ
his
序盤な
attention,
のでね、どんど
and
ん
then hopefully just see him running
進んでい
straight
く感じ
towards
です
me.
ね。
And
時
he
間で
flew
回
a
復する
couple
シールド
meters
付き
back.
防具、めちゃくちゃ強い。
Has happened a couple of times
こ
before.
こで戦闘です
Because
ね。
he wants to show
あ
off
これ
his
が、
jump skills
まあ、
for
機械
jumping.
獣って呼び方であったかな。この世界にいる、
So the thing with
まあ、
Storm
敵という
Slinger,
か
just
生
to
物と
end that
いうかね、
conversation, it's when you play on ultra hard, the
になり
Storm
ま
Slinger
す。
is actually so powerful that it completely
さあ、あれが倒したこと
what's
で
it
ストーリー
called?
が
The
進んだ
recoil
模様。
damage is so strong that it will kill you if you overcharge it. So you
まあ
gotta
本
keep
来な
it
ら
fun,
まあ
but
階層があるんですかね、
the
子
more
供
you
時代
charge
の。
it, the more damage you do. But if you overcharge it, you're dead. So it's not a weapon we use a lot, but for certain machines, it's quite effective. So right here, after we complete the sawtooth, we have to talk to Rust. Sadly, this is the last time we'll see Rust in this run. And I can just quickly explain, since this next part of the quest here is just
あ、もう会話がもう流れるかごとく進んでいきます。
I won't be going over too much of the story of
会
this
話が終
game
わった模
because
様。
there's a lot of it, and I only have 2 hours. So you really should play this if you want to know the story. I'll try to explain some details along the way. So
あ、
since we're
街
just
ですね。
setting up
街
the
に入り
main
ました
story
ね。
here, going through some dialogues here in this
まあこの村
village
か
here,
ら
can
出る
quickly
ための試
explain
験を
in
受けて
New
るという
Game
ような感じ
Plus
ですか
we
ね。
have all our stuff from a previous playthrough, and since you know it's speedrunning.
ウルトラハードの仕様としては、直接攻撃で敵がひるまない。初期武器ではアサシンプレイすることが必須なレベルで、難しいので NG プラスでしか、現実的なあれでは無理だよ。なるほど。近接攻撃ひるまないはなかなかきついですね。主人公の名前はアーロイ。ありがとうございます。女性の方ですね。主人公はアーロイという名前みたいですね。村の人に認めるために試練を受けていると。今、村を出るために前転しているようなところですかね。
So another thing is the difficulty, which I already explained is ultra hard. It's the hardest difficulty. It has some unique things to it, other than simply being harder. All your weapons are nerfed, but again, it's New Game Plus, so doesn't matter too much. And can't skip cutscenes right now. Oops.
さっきのところがオーリー。 あそこを生かすか、アヤメリカの選択があるって感じなんですかね。あ、寝ていく。さすがに疲れたか、前提すぎて。成人の儀式みたいなのを受ける感じ。なるほど。村のしきたりといった感じですかね。急に雪山になりましたね。おー、鹿っぽいの来ましたね。角を手に入れたっぽい。妨害と襲撃ありの成人の儀式。なかなかハードですね。多分これは素材を集めるために、ここに来たから素材を集めて、すぐに村を出たって感じですかね。村というか、クエストというか。そういうわけではない。さあ、点々。
How do you want to call it? A zigzag path. And we're just gonna, make it a bit more straight using some out of bounds movement.
よそ者扱いされてるから義勇兵になって村の一員になって出世を聞き出したいという状況。自分の記憶というか自分の生まれがこの主人公のアーロイはわからないのでそれを知るために、なろうという感じですかね。村の一員になってその情報を聞き出そうといったことを目的として動いていると。このカテゴリーで世界の1位なんですね、この奏者さんが。ありがとうございます。鹿の首取ってこいって儀式。妨害で正規の道使えないから封鎖された道で行ってると。ありがとうございます。お疲れ。情報があるとゲームを見る目が変わってきますね。すごいロッククライミングしているが。飛んでいく。生まれた時から母がいないせいで、いたもの扱いされてるから義勇兵になって1位になろうとするし。なるほど。生まれた時に母親がいないということですね。さっきのね、崖の登り方すごいですね。あれ、正規ルートではなさそうだけど、どうなんだろう。襲撃されてるんですかね。これはもう相手はもう人というか人に襲撃されて、どんどん地面に打って、爆発で倒したって感じですかね。ムービー中時間を使ってローリングするやつにリターン使わせる。これはちょっと間違いないかもしれないですね。謎の勢力なんですね。これ村の奴らとかではなくて、謎の奴らと。意外と人との戦いも多いんですね。機械銃とかだけじゃなくて。上に現代的な扉が現れましたが。
Now we're done with the proving here. Right here we can just normally run because we're supposed to follow Terza here. And in this game, when a game
遺跡ではないですけどね、なんか明らかに人工的な場所にいますね、今。いつの間にか育ての親がやられてると。マジ？耳につけてる装置で開く仕組みのはず。めちゃくちゃ大事なところがスキップされてるようですね。育ての親が爆発に巻き込まれてやられてしまったと。展開が早い。確かに。RT ならなおさら早い。通常プレイならね、1時間とか2時間ぐらい使ってじっくりと感情移入していくところなんでしょうけど。8分ですからね。ちょっとまだ感情が移入しきれてなかったが。終わりって誰なんだ。
And like I said, our weapons are fully
降臨
upgraded.
が
I'd
あ
like
れ
to
だ
go
ったっ
into
け？
full details about all my weapons, but
途中出てきた男の
I
人で
can't
すよね。
review
ス
that
キンヘ
in
ッ
a
ドの。
marathon run. But if you're interested in knowing exactly how all my weapons are set up with modifications and all that, I do have a video going over all the nerdy details if you want on my own personal channel. So you can always check that out if you're interested in knowing it.
これ会話シーンですね。
Also
強
got
制会話シーン
tutorials
で
and
すか、
stuff
これ
on
は。
how you can set up these weapons yourself, should you be interested in running the game.
親の
And if you're a
敵。
PC runner, you can
お
always
ー。
just download a save file, because PC runners always have it easier. So coming up
これ
here is
別の村なん
the
ですか
Corrupted
ね。
Fight, which we are gonna look very easy once again here. So first we're just gonna slide down, do a roll,
ひた
once
すら
we're
ボトム
halfway
の前
down,
転で
just to,
村を駆け回ってい
get them a
く。
little quicker. And the roll halfway through breaks our fall into two, so we don't take nearly enough damage to die. So the Corrupted Fight here normally is the first fight in the game most people get stuck on, because you know it's hard when you don't know what you're doing on the first
でも
playthrough.
見てるとかなり面白そうですね。本
What
当
we're
に。グラ
gonna
フィッ
do
クも
here
綺
is
麗
I'm
で
gonna、switch
アク
to
ション
the
もあっ
ice
て、
cannon here.
ストーリー
I'm
もかな
gonna
り
jump on
面
these
白そうで。
blocks, get up here. Oh, almost messed it up. Can I make it in time? And then I'm gonna listen.
最初の村の数少ない理解のあるダッチャマから旅に出るって言われた。なるほど。
So if you
それがさっき
pay
の会話シーン
attention
です
to
ね
the。sound there, you'll notice that I shot
優
as soon as
し
the
み。
gate broke open. So the Corruptor is normally invincible to damage before he jumps into the actual fighting area. But it turns out when the gate breaks, you have a small window where you can actually do damage. And an ice cannon shot to
これ
the
が
weak point there on top of his head.
機械銃ですが、
So therefore, if we time our shots correctly as soon as we hear the gate break open, we
なん
can
か
just
故障してる感じありましたね。
and yeah, that's a GG for that fight. So it makes it look really easy compared to, you know, what you would
どうした
otherwise
ことに
see.
なった？え？何かを呼
Right
ん
here,
で？
I'm getting on my mount, and you
お
notice
お、
here
来た
the
来た来た
gate
来た。
is magically
ああ、
gonna
ついに前転から解放
Normally
され
you're
た
supposed to go
アーロイ。
override a mount for story reasons, so Aloy learns how to override machines.
ここで
But we already have the skill
異
point
常が
that
解
allows
放。
you to just whistle
イベン
for
トボス
mount
襲撃
no
力
matter
即
where
死
you。
何をしたんだ？
And because of that, as soon as I whistle for one,
それでなんか
on
爆
it,
発
the
してて。
gate breaks open because then the game is like, oh, you already overridden one. Here you go. So that basically finishes
でも
off
こ
the
う裏
early
で
game
細
of
かい
the
テクニ
run,
ックは
which
が
is the
施され
embrace
て
section with the first 3 quest
情報が
exploits
処理しきれ
we've
ない
already completed. And now we
会話中に何かが起こってい
basically
た。
roam half of the open world.
ああ、指で指でこ
Wherever we want.
う、馬を呼ぶのがもうスキルなんで
But
すかね。
first, we are gonna set something up along the way.
この乗り物がまあ機械銃って呼ばれてるみたいですね。まあロボットって言えばいいのかな。
I like to use GTA as an example.
まあもうロボットか。もう動物がこう全部ロボットになってるっていう世界なのかな、人間以外の。それ以外は大体ロボット。
That's what we're gonna do right here for routing purposes. So we are gonna do the first part of the war
あ、
chief
普通の動物もいる。
because it's conveniently
あ、
on the
機
way.
械銃が生息しているって感じなんですよね。ただ生きてると誰にも操られずに。なるほどね、そういう世界観なんですね。面白いですね。小動物以外は大体説明ついちゃってる。かなりユニークな世界観で。これはなんか、ロボットに何かして、また馬に乗りましたが、これ崖登る？あ、登りはしない。ベセスダ式当番。
So you can see right here, now I have a mount, and that means I can get off and talk to this guy and immediately be on my way as soon as this conversation is over.
列車に降り
Normally
て、
you have to go outside and whistle for your mount, but that little trick there makes it so we are on our mount immediately and all the way, already on the way to, you know, the next part of the run.
あ、これかなり移動が速くなった。
But again, we'll come back to that later after we have completed some other stuff.
なんか駆け回れる系は楽しいですね。ベセスダ式登山とは、明らかに人間の登れそうな斜面に対してゴリゴリジャンプやダッシュで登る手法。なるほど。そういう名前がついてたんだ。 もうブレスオブザワイルドと同時期に発売されたから。ああ、そうなんですね。確かになんかこう、ゼルダっぽい感じは結構感じますよね。ほんとハッキングして乗る必要がある。ああ。なるほどね。まあ、今回はニューゲームプラスなので、そのハッキングの、工程を飛ばせるスキルをつけてる状態でやってるって感じですか。あ、なるほど。ありがとうございます。ネットスラング的な登山法の名前ですね。賢くなりましたね、僕は今日。怪獣のいいですね、デザインが。あ、これは鹿ですか
？And then plan out your route for how you're gonna go about killing them. And sometimes they can be so far spread out that it can become
怪獣のデザイン好きな人かなり好きなんじゃないですかね、これ。めちゃくちゃこうよく書かれてるというか。
And again, spawns are random in corrupted zones, so we can't really plan our fights exactly as we want.
この種類いるんですかね、やっぱり。何種類ぐらいいるんだろうな、デザインで。あ、恐竜っぽいのもいる？おお。あ、機械のデザインは年単位でかかったものがあるとかなんとか。もうかなりじゃあもう力入れてデザインされたってことですよね。規模の動物モチーフなんだよね。リーブちゃんとあるし。ああ、まあ馬のロボットというよりかは、馬をモチーフにした機械獣っていうスタンスなんですかね。なるほどね。デザインも映像もいいし、デザインもいい。2、30種類ぐらい。なるほど。機械獣2、30種類ぐらいあると。なんか自然界にただ生きてるだけってのが逆にいいっすよね。あ、VR 化できる。あ、足だけ破壊とか。ああ。なるほどね。あ、ワニの機械獣とかもあると。
And you will have your mount after the fast travel. For some reason, that trick doesn't work on PC. It's one of the few PC differences, or console PC differences.
いいなぁ。一日中使ってちょっとやりたくなりますね、これは。このゲームは。あ、機械獣は部位ごとに弱点がある。ああ。なるほど。今こうやって倒してるのも弱点とかをついてる。まあ狙ってたりするんですかね。そこはなんか門番みたいな感じですかね、さっきの怪獣たちは。さあ、どっかに入ってきたか？誰かがいる。中に入って、国境ゲートに到達。国境らしいです、ここは。国を乗り越えていける。ライト付き、あ、確かに。大事にライトがついてると。確かにこれは便利。
We have a lot of love out here for KZ Fruit as well. Let's see. I think I've got one here that hits a little bit of everything. Odin's Son.
あ、このゲームの新作も発表されたと。そういうところに発売されるって感じなんですかね。あ、弱点があって、まあ、その解放とか解決法を見つけていくのが楽しい。機械獣のグラフィックのピクセル数やレンダリング数がぶっちぎりの1位。ああ。すげえな。なんかね、なんとなくタイトルは見たことあったんですけどね、実際どんなゲームかっていうのは今日が初めて見るんで。 ストーリーもね、かなりこう面白そうなゲームなのでね、
for $2,500.
実際の詳細なストーリーとかは実際にプレイして楽しむのが良さそうですね。
One of the best games of all time, in my humble opinion. Aloy is the awesome sauce, especially in her compassion when she
し
saves
っかりと
the
本編をやった方がいいよというね、推奨がたくさんあるみたいなので、おそらくそういうことなんじゃないかなと。
You can do probably 3 or 4 more donations before we get there. It's a long ride.
これ RTA だと、大体はわかるかもしれないけど、
Let's take
多分もろもろスキップするので
$50
ね、
donation from Linkigi.
実際に詳しく知りたいときは本編をいらないとわからないくらいにはなるんじゃないでしょうか。
And just a quick update on that, I am seeing us at $66,500. We got about $23,500 left.
ラジオ買って部品を当たり前に生活利用していく。おー、
Onyx of Octavia sent in
何もわからない。
$25.
この RTA ではそれはほぼわからないということなので、未プレイのね、方も僕含めて安心して見られますね。今は、さっきのオーリンってやつを追って各の首都へ行くところ。
Feel free to do one more, and then I'll
さっきやられたやつらを追って今国を渡ってるって感じですね。
From Dragon King Me. Hey Elk, thanks for everything you do to make this game so accessible and the community so welcoming. Hope the run goes great and that Zero Dawn Skip treats you kindly.
Thank you so much. Right here before Meridian, we have
わあ、
the
すごいです
DLC
ね、
side
この世界
quest,
観は。
which, if you watched SGDQ last year, I did the DLC run. We get slowed down here because the game really wants you to, you know, talk to that guy and start the DLC, even though it's not even necessary. But oh well. So coming up to Meridian here, we have to go in and find out
冬バグがね、
where
なかなか気になるところですけど、
and it turns out he's
この
not here. He's
RTA で
actually
出てくる
on
か。
the excavation side, which is where we'll decide his fate. Right
オーリン
after
も
this.
家族を人質に取られているから、殺すか生かすかを選択できると。
And I guess I can
お
quickly
ー、
explain here. So in this run, we are basically only going through the main quest.
なかなか厳しい選択を迫られてくるな。
Excuse me, needed for the main quest. But
さあ、ここから多分馬が乗れないんでしょうね。
gonna fast travel in again.
前転で
because
進んでいきます。
walking the rest of the bridge and go through more dialogue. So basically, the main quest is split into 3 parts, which is there's the part about Aloy learning
誰かに会っている。
the one about Aaron's sister, what happened to her, and then the part where you help
主
the
人公
North.
のアーロイは
All 3 of those
何
parts
かしらの
you can then
情報
unlock
を
the
引き出しているところなんでしょう
So
か。
that's kind of the goal here. And currently, there's no way to skip any of it, so you're gonna see the entire main quest as we play through it here.
What did he mean about Ursa's murder?
Not now.
So quickly here, we're gonna do some movement here. We need
あ、
to
お
scan
城みたい
that,
なところに入っていきましたね。
head upstairs, jump over the
お、
railing
なんだなんだ。
because it's faster, and then we go
キャンニグルみたいな
So yeah, a
グ
little
ラ
bit
フィッ
of
クが出
slow
てきまし
part
た
of
が、
the run after you had that quick
試練の前に後井さんが協力してくれる。
break on Meridian, but as an experienced speedrunner, I can tell you even in the slow parts, you can easily
あ、
lose.
これがオーリンの家なんですね。広っ
Then we have
家かよ、こ
basically
れ。
the gauntlet coming up after
広すぎだろ
3 fights, or technically 4 fights, I
う。
guess.
もし分けてくれ、その広さ。
Kind of back to back. That usually always decides the fate of runs, which are the excavation side
なん
fight,
かこっち地図っ
ambush,
ぽいですね。
and then Maker's
4LDK。4LDK より広く
a
ない
lot
か
of。things can go differently in those.
どっちが安そう。なるほ
And
ど。
it's not always the same way it goes.
あ、
So
こ
you
っちは
saw
た
me
くさんあ
right
るかも
there.
しれ
I
ないですね、
opened the
確か
map
に。
twice. It might look like a
あ、こ
mistake,
れ地図
but
見れるようにな
it's
ったよ、
actually
みたい
not a
な。
mistake. Because when you open the map the first time after a long travel and you have discovered a lot of new things, the game really likes to do this cinematic overview of everything you discovered. But that's obviously slow, so if you just open the map twice, it skips that entire animation. So right here, I'm gonna set up my
あ、
weapons
指
for the
笛
excavation
吹い
side fight.
て、
And now I have to
お馬さん呼ん
post
だ
a
の
bit
かな、今の
for
は。
whether we save or kill Olin, because that is right after the fight.
おー、来てる来てる。お、いいね、かっこいい。
All right, let me just refresh the page to make sure I've got the latest numbers here. It
お、
is
角が
looking
伸びて
like
る
by a
な。
margin of
さっきの馬か、こ
$1,400.
れ。
The viewers have decided to save
牛くん
Olin.
か。
Cool, that is the fastest.
牛でもいいんだ。
It's 2 seconds faster.
なんか性能差あんのかな、ライドオン
So,
の。
you guys picked the speedy option, even though I feel like in most games it's always faster to go for the kill. But not the case in Horizon.
武
Unless
器
you're
を
playing
カスタマイズ
100%
しましたね。
Because if you save Olin, there's a side quest in 100% where you have to save his family, and if he's alive, you have to talk to him. So in 100% you kill him, but every other category
砂漠の地帯を駆け抜けていく。ああ、指笛で来るのが地域差があるってことなんですね。おー。水もへっちゃら機械獣なら突進ができるかもしれない。虫なら突進できるか。放水バッチリ。
But first, I'm quickly gonna go up here, touch this grass, which activates the campfire I'm gonna use after the fight to fast travel.
恐竜っぽいのもいますね。お、旋回して。なんだここは。どこかについたらしいが。あ、なんか挙動があ、ちょっと挙動怪しいと思ったけど、そうでもなかったですね。ちょっと一瞬ワクワクしたんですけどね。なんか人口、ちょっと狙われてる。人間に狙われてるぞ。あ、人間と機械に狙われてる。リキちゃんの一部のアジト。あ、ここがアジトなんですね、敵の。それは大変だ。おーおー、なんか火炎放射器ならぬ。氷冷器みたいな。凍らせる機械ですかね。弓や。冷凍銃。おお。実は、ちょっとオープニングで見たっけあ、矢が曲がるのはエイム、エイムアシストがすごいのかってことか。試練の日に襲ってきた連中が機械を掘り起こしてた。これが、この人がオーリンさんですかね。これが生かすルート。あ、ここでその生かすか、どうすかの選択があると。いう感じなのかな。あ、ビット4で選ばれたって感じなんですか。なるほど、なるほど。やっぱ生かしたくなるよな。なんか耳が、あ、でもさっき耳が光ってたけど、なんか耳についてる。あれで扉を開けるとかなんとかあった気がするな。
I'm quickly restarting from save here. This is to manipulate the fight after or the fight coming up.
アジトも解決して、あ、なんだか25分経ってるんですね。
But if you restart from save, he's always going to be in the fight here. Again, I load a
この移動
triple
が
shot
ちょっと
into
大変
my
そうですよね、オー
strike
プン
bow
ワー
here.
ルドなんで。
A triple shot basically means I shoot 3 arrows at once, so you might hear me say triple shot or double shot throughout this run. So the triple shot is for these lanthorns here. Gonna shoot him in the butt. He's down. Bomb this guy, and where's the last guy? He's fighting Aaron. Double bomb, and he's dead. Whistle for the mount. What?
かなりボリュームありますよね、このペースで2時間なんで。
Because again, want the mount to be close to me after it is over.
本作のヒロイン。モヒカン
But once I'm on my mount here, you're gonna notice I'm gonna be forcefully taken off my mount here. Just in a second.
なんかついてきてる感じがあるが、馬が速すぎるがどう対応してくる。
Oh, what am I doing? A little bit of a brain fart there. So basically, you're not allowed to be on the mount while you have dialogue here with
なん
another
だ、ちょっと怪
character.
しいぞ、動
But
き
as
が。
soon as Aloy's
そんなことない
dialogue。here is over, I can jump back on the mount.
そん
You're
なこ
gonna
と
see
な
it
い。
one more time here on the way to this fight. Because again, you're supposed to follow Aaron here, but you can just walk ahead of them. So examine the blood here. This is one of the
ちょっ
places
と
where
怪しい動きに
there's
敏感にな
plenty
っ
of
てん
things
だよ
to
な。
examine, but you only have to do one to progress, which is the blood, and then back on the mount.
なんだこれ、ステルスなんちゃらか
So
そういうわけで
in
な
this
く。
fight up here, there's going to be a guy going down a zip line. Pay attention to that guy, because there's actually a unique glitch here on ultra hard difficulty, which he won't go down the zip line. And if he does that, I have to kill him first. If he doesn't, I have to kill him basically last. Here I get knocked off the mount again. Because otherwise he glitches out if you don't kill him and he doesn't go down the zip line. So we'll
ここまで
see
ね、体
how
がブレ
he's
ッジを
gonna
求め
choose.
てます
And
ね。
again, it only happens on
こ
ultra
こまでなん
hard.
かね、大きな悪いことはしておらず、
There we go.
シンプル
He
に
didn't
操
go
作が
down
うまい
the
ってい
zip line,
う。
so we pop him with the headshot. Kill the other 3 archers here.
お、また人間出てきたよ、人
Load a
間。
double shot for this guy because he has more health.
弓矢の弓が凄
And
ま
I
じい
should
が。
beneath both his armpits.
絶対こんな簡単じゃないでしょ
There we go. Load in triple shot and
あ
then point
これ
my
今
camera to the
隣
back
で
corner here.
さっきのヒロインが
That's
助け
gonna
てくれてるんですか
manipulate
ね
the other Ravager spawns because now 2 Ravagers are
行方
spawned.
不明になった
What I'm gonna do
防
here
衛
is
隊
I'm
長の
gonna
捜
freeze
索シー
them.
ン。おー、
Get a little too
人
close.
探しをしてるって
He's
感じ
now
ですかね。
frozen.
お、なにこれ
Hit
敵
him in the head with the triple
敵だ
shot.
ろ敵
That is enough to one-shot him after he's been frozen.
ヒロインのアシストがすごいか。
And
あ
notice how he
イ
came
ベ
from
ン
the
ト、
right
時々
side
降りて
there.
るのはイベント
Because
進
I
行
had
フラグ
my
の回収
camera
か。
pointed towards that
なるほ
corner
ど。
as they spawned, that guarantees he's gonna spawn on the right, which is a lot closer than the left side. Right here, again, I whistle for my mount, but this time I have a little more examination to do.
They're shattered.
Beforehand,
Something hit these stones. Something
because
I've never
here we
seen
just
before.
basically had to
あ、
examine
一個
everything,
最強
figure
防
out
具
what
があるん
happened
です
to
ね。
Olin's sister.
Armor straps. Cut with a
Olin,
knife.
I mean Aaron. Sorry, I get those two names mixed up all the time. And
体
after
光って
that,
るのは
we are
通
gonna
信して
restart
るの
from
かなどっ
save
か
here,
と。
because that brings us right back to Aaron.
By the tripod.
And you might have noticed there's a lot of loading screens and stuff with these restarts from save. But in the Horizon community, thankfully, we are using loadless time, even for console runs. So basically, every time you see a loading screen, that is not counted in your time if you're submitting for the leaderboards.
あ、回復してる演出ですか。な
And
る
you
ほ
can
ど。
see right there, the mount was right in front of me.
そんなに
out
深い意
of
味
the
はなかった
cutscene. So if you think there's a lot of loading screens, and to be fair, they are a lot faster on PC.
こうすると、このゲームでは走
You
行
know,
無視でき
they're
る。
not counted
お
during
ー、
runs. But before I explain more about that, we're gonna go
凍ら
down
せるの
here
強そうだな、そしたら。
across the river. Then you see there's 2 Ravagers there. They are always here.
ゲー
He's
ミン
got
グ
his
防具。
back turned, so I'm gonna go towards his back, bump into him. And hopefully they're gonna shoot at me and not directly attack
こ
me.
の辺も
Okay,
敵
they're
だけど
shooting, so、
まあ、
we're
スルーしていくと。
Because Ravagers are the best thing out of that can spawn there. It can also be Sawtooths, which are a lot more aggressive because they don't have any shoot or ranged attacks, so they always go for melee. But shooting there is totally fine. It does damage, but not enough to, you know, knock us off our mount. So that's why I was hoping for that. And then right here, if you pay attention to the navigation bar on the top of the screen, you will see a campfire up here, and that's gonna turn green.
砂漠をどんどん
I'm
走っていき
actually
ます。
activating this campfire, and I'm gonna use it in like 40 minutes from now. But it turned green right there.
お、
That
なんか
is when
街
you
っ
get
ぽい
close
のが。
enough to it, it is then active.
これ
And
新しい
then I
街
immediately turn to the right, because now we're getting towards Maker's End.
世界が広い。
But like I said, that campfire is
急
gonna be
に
useful
砂煙
later.
が。
So just slightly going out of my way to make it a
急に
bit
砂
quicker later in
煙
the
が
run here.
前ぶって視界が悪くなったが、
What was I explaining before?
気にせず進むと。
I lost track of it. But going here to Maker's End, we have another fight coming up, which I would say
旅の
is
時
the
間が
last
長い
of
です
the
ね。オー
gauntlet,
プンワール
as
ド
I
だから
talked
か。
about, the place that usually, you know, decides for most of my attempts whether they live or die whenever I'm going for these record runs in this category.
あ、フィールドの作り込みが
So the
相
Maker's
当
End
す
fight
ごいですね、
here
これ。
is the first time we encountered Deathbringer, which are
めちゃくちゃ時間
ancient,
解けるでしょ、これやったら。
machines. But lucky for us, the first one here at Maker's End has very low health because it's just been dug out of the ground. So we can basically one-shot it with
時
our
間を
ice
全
cannon
然余裕
because
で
it's
遊べる
quite
ね、これ。
powerful.
世界各地にあ
And
る
then after that,
収
we
集
have
要
to
素
do
も
a
あって
quick
楽しい
cleanup
と。
here again. And hopefully we can do it
一生できる
fast
パターン
enough.
ですね、
So
これ。
there's certain archers, there are 3 archers in this fight that normally go behind cover if you are too slow. So it's a fight where you have to be as fast as possible to prevent them from doing that. And again, there's going to be another manipulation in terms of where I'm going to be standing in the fight that's going to trick one of them into not going into cover. Because an enemy will only take cover if it can see you. So there's an archer on the left that I'm going to be staying behind cover for him, or out of sight
もう
for
買
him
うしかな
to
い。
make sure he
私
doesn't
相
go
当
behind
欲しい。
cover. But first we got a little
あ、
skip
これ
here
勝
into
つ
the
の
fight
が
here.
PS4 最
I'm
強の
just
画
gonna
質。
ride through here, jump over this rock, and then in order to get into the fight a little earlier, we're gonna use
それで
all
で
the
すね、こ
environment
の時
here.
間帯で、司会進行の方の交代の時間がやってまいりましたので、一度音声の方が、途切れると思いますが、よろしくお願いします。皆さんはこのまましばらくお待ちください。それでは失礼いたします。
I'll quickly redo that again. Let's go for the backup strats. Why not? It's a marathon. The problem with this beam here is it's kind of slippery unless you're standing right in the center of it. And here, let's see if we can get it the second time. Nope. Sorry for messing it up, but I really want to show it, so I'm gonna keep doing it. At least one more try, at least. There we go. and then jump across. Apparently I can't get it right now, so sorry about that. So we're gonna have to go for the backup strat for the fight. Normally I won't redo the skip, I'll just immediately go to the fight because it's never worth redoing it. But anyway, go into the fight here. I'm gonna use the ice rail or cannon here to shoot the Deathbringer in one shot. Kill the big guy, lob a bomb at this guy coming at me. And there's the second guy because I didn't get the skip. Kill the Watcher. Archer's on the right. Keep in mind there's still one on the left. And I missed that guy, and the Watcher somehow didn't die there.
あ、声小さいですか？どうですか？おはようございます。
And you see this guy on the left, he's slightly behind cover.
おはようございます。皆さんおはようございます。声聞こえますでしょうか？ありが
But
とう。
because I stayed far enough back in that fight, he didn't have a line of sight on me, so he didn't go behind the actual cover I was referring to. He just happened to be standing perfectly next to a beam.
はい、皆さんね、朝早くからもうまだ6時っていう時間ですね。
Right here, I'm just quickly gonna wait for the voice
皆
to
さん
stop.
ずっと寝てはる、寝ずにこう見てはるんですか
Because
ね
if。you go down the elevator before the voice starts,
こ
you
う
actually soft lock the quest.
なんていうんですか、
You can
体
just
に
restart from save to get rid of it.
シングル CD いっぱい貼ったみたいな女の人が前転してる感じですけど、
So right here, we use that Deathbringer statue
寝る
to
時
skip
間で
two
すね。
floors
もう
of the
6時
building,
やと
just
ね
like that.
外ももう
And then we
0時過ぎ
continue
た
on
ら
climbing
どんどん
to
暗くなっていって
the
真っ
rest of
暗
the
ですけ
climb
ど、
here to the top. But yeah, there's two particular spots where if you do something too quickly, you'll soft lock the game, and basically every new runner of this game always makes that mistake, and it's always learned the hard way. So
なるほど、カラス
the
置きな
problem
ん
with
です
this
ね、こ
one in
れ。
Maker's End especially is you don't know the
機
game
械
itself
のカラス
until
が
you have
襲って
finished
くるんですか
everything
ね。
in the building, which is kind of an issue. That's why it ports out a lot of people. And then we're gonna continue to the
もの
rest of the
すごい
building
指の
here.
力でず
And
っ
on
とぶ
top
ら
of the
下がり
ledge,
な
we're
がら
gonna
登っていってあ
encounter
り
the
ますけ
first
ど、
holograms, which is basically unskippable cutscenes. But there are some things we're gonna do to save a little bit of time once we get up here. But if you quickly want to throw in one donation before I reach the
かな
top,
りね、こう
you can
順調
go
に
ahead
ゲーム
and
は進んでいるのかなと見てる感じだと、
Yeah, I think I can get that here.
ね、い
Conflict
ろいろ
Baguette has
冒
sent
険
in
を進めておられ
$50.
ますが、
Awesome event as always. My girlfriend
ちょ
wants
っと
that
僕さっき
small
の
neck. She
ハゲ
100%ed
のおじさんが
Horizon
どうなっ
last year,
た
so
か
this
わ
will be
から
a
んまん
nice
ま
trophy.
バタバタしてた
My
んで、
god, that small neck is like the cutest thing I've ever seen, I have to say.
I can't tell you how much fun it is
な
to
かな
hold
かね、こ
seriously.
のなんか悪いことをするとかじゃなく
Yeah,
て、
I
もう
mean,
ただただ
I
単
mean,
純
I'm
に
definitely donating for that, just saying.
キャラコントロールがうまいですよね。
Because, my god,
こん
it's
な
adorable.
滑らかにスピーディーに登れるゲームなんかちょっとわかんないですけど、
Anyway,
もの
once
す
we
ご
get to
く
the top here, we're gonna have
綺麗に
something
進ん
that
でおられ
is
ま
usually
す。
referred to as flare skip, even though I can explain in a bit, but there's essentially like I think 7 or 8 things in this at this point in the run that's called flare skip. But let me explain the skip itself first before I explain the story behind that. So we're gonna come up here and then we're gonna use this beam on the side of the building, jump across here, aim a weapon to keep balance, turn around here. Okay, I didn't nail the jump or the last jump. We do have to
Oh.
turn around again here.
ちょっとショートカットをしようとしてる感じですかね。
So that gets us up earlier, but it also does another thing that you will see after the first hologram. Right here, I'm gonna craft ammo while the dialogue is going on. And then the first hologram is gonna appear right here. Which is, these 3 holograms is gonna be a dialogue between Ted Faro and Sobek, basically explaining why the apocalypse happened. Because in case you don't know, Horizon is a post-apocalyptic game. And it turns out Ted Faro and his company had this brilliant idea, to create AI military robots that can self-replicate. And to no one's surprise, the apocalypse
すごいこう
happened.
滑らかなゲームですよね、ずっと。モーションが。
But while that's playing, let me explain to you what why there's the flare skip thing.
な
But
ん
there's a
か、
runner in
あ
our
あ、
community
字幕出てるんですね、
who
これ。
found a bunch of skips called flare. And in my stream, at one point he asked, why is no skips named after
ああ、
runners
なん
in
かあれ
this
なん
game?
ですね。機械銃
And I
だ
told
と
him it's
なんだの
because,
って言
well,
ってるんです
most
け
of
ど、
the
こ
skips
う、
are found by
喋
the
ってあ
same
る内容ではもう
person,
ロボット
so
って
he
言ってるんです
confused to
ね
name。them after
単純に。
everyone. And And then he thought it would be funny to name every single thing he found Fleur Skip. So that has now become a meme. And like I said, there's like
なるほど、世界の成り立ちをこうお話しされてる感じですね。
Bit confusing. So that's the first hologram. Then we got the second one here. We're just pointing our focus here as where they're gonna spawn. So now we have the trick, or the reason why we did the beam, or the second reason why we did this beam job. So normally you climb up here to get to the office. And right before you climb, there's actually a dialogue trigger here for Aloy. Now, in between the holograms as well, Aloy is going to have some dialogue, especially between hologram 2, which we are watching right now, and 3, which is the longest of the dialogues. And like I said, there's a dialogue trigger right here that we skipped because we jumped on top of this beam and climbed up. So as soon as the second hologram ends, which is when Aloy starts her dialogue, I'm going to move forward and hit this dialogue trigger, which then cuts Aloy's normal dialogue off, and I can then restart from save and completely skip the dialogue between hologram 2 and 3, thereby saving even more time from, you know, the skip we did before. Hopefully that explains it well enough, so you understand it.
かなり機械がある割に武器は弓なんですね、メインの武器は。
There was some oversights when they developed this, so well, you'll see. And it's one of those speedrun tricks that everyone can do, so pay attention and you can have some fun with this trick that you're about to see. Right there, you saw me jump into the dialogue trigger that cuts Aloy off, or Aloy cuts herself off, and then we start the last hologram. So first thing here, first oversight is, I guess I can show you a little magic trick here, because we can make Aloy disappear simply by walking into this pillar, because yeah, they forgot to get this pillar collision. So you can just walk into it and Aloy disappears. You can kind of see her foot there. But yeah, for some reason, they forgot to get this collision. And the same goes for the pillar over there and there. So he can just walk through this.
はしゃいでるだけですね、今これ。何するのかな。あ、はしゃいだだけなんや。
You know, it doesn't spawn inside buildings because it's not supposed to. But this is a balcony that is outside. And
もう完全にこの、あれなんですね。音声の再生待ちなんですね、今。
So a mount can spawn on top of here, because I guess they forgot to make sure that the mount doesn't spawn out there, because it counts as being outside, I guess. But then we can park a mount right here, and wait for the last hologram to finish. And you might be wondering, why do you need a mount up here? And by the way, that's the simple trick you can do if you want to do a trick yourself. Just go onto the balcony, have your back turned and whistle. The mount will spawn up here. So remember when I said mounts, if you are on a mount, when you fast roll, you'll have it afterwards? That's why we need a mount up here.
風の谷のナウシカの漫画に出てきたケナガウシとかかな、こんなデザインでしたね。角の横に長い。喋ってる。
And then we'll jump on the mount and fast roll out of here. Because the next place we're going to is a place where the mount is allowed to be. Therefore, we can have it after the fast roll.
なんかジョン・ウィックのホテルの人みたいな方が出てきて喋ってましたね。
Which is the quest we started earlier. And there's actually a pretty cool new speedrun trick we're gonna use for this fight when we get to it. But one more thing, I forgot. Oh yeah, if you want to see the mount, or if you watch 100% speedrun, you will see those mount, the mount being used for fast roll a lot more.
あ、もう山は降りたんですね。さっと。
This run because, well,
結構この牛とか坂馬とかに乗ったはる時の動きがすごい滑らかで綺麗ですよね。
But in 100% you'll see a lot more of it. So we're gonna bring out a Storm Slinger again here, which we're gonna use for the next trick, which is we're basically gonna use the checkpoints of the game in order to, you know, move a lot further ahead.
ああ、サイレンスっていう人。
But first, coming up here again,
まあさっき
another
普通に喋って
examination.
る感じ
Again,
でした
you're
けどね。
supposed
名
to
前サイレンスなん
examine
です
a
ね。
ton of stuff, but if you already know which one you need to pick to progress, you can just do that one
血
and
が出た。
Might be a blood trail I could follow. I should try my focus.
In this fight, you're also gonna see me use the Stormslinger to kill some enemies with ranged attacks. Because in the fight coming up here, the enemies are kind of scattered around this big crater. And so we're gonna use the high ground, because as we all know, the high ground is win by default. To take out a lot of the enemies that are far away and then jump down and finish the rest of them off with bombs. And hopefully that's gonna go as smoothly as possible. But first, we're gonna do that checkpoint trick. After we meet up with Sona here, who's the Watchief.
Could be close.
Because now we're on the part of the section, or the section of the run I usually call the Nora section, where you do the main quest part of helping the Nora out, as I mentioned earlier.
Getting a signal from there.
So what I'm going to do here, normally you have to go a little far to get to the fight here. But as soon as you get to this point, there's a little gap you can shoot through here to alert the enemies over at the fight. And then if you because that starts the fight. And once the fight is started, the checkpoint is then set next to the fight. So restarting from save puts you right here at the fight. So now we're in the fight. I'm gonna roll up a bomb here at an explosive to take out one scrapper, kill that guy, kill that scrapper before he runs away.
なるほど。
And then some
故
long
郷
range
を
shot here while
襲撃した
keeping
やつ
track
が
of my
報
health.
復を。
That is all of the long range ones. And then finish off with bombs, as I said. Got two guys in the background here. This guy is moving to the right, and that's all of them. So a lot of the fighting you'll see done in this run is fairly consistent in the way that, yeah, the enemies are not always going to be in the exact same spot. But that's where you need that experience to know what to do depending on where the enemies are and what they are doing. So there's a lot of reactionary strats.
結構ちょいちょいこうやってあれですね、武器を持ち替えて
Right there, I switched to the
進んでおら
Stormslinger,
れ
or
ま
I
すね。
switched to Stormslinger out again because I'm done using it in the run, because the rest of the run it doesn't have much use for. Again, the Stormslinger is used a lot more on the easier difficulties because of how powerful it is. But like I said, on Ultra Hard, if you use it too much, you simply die. So,
A blaze
Yeah.
stockpile inside their base. I found
right here we finish off the Watchief.
Sounds
そうですね、ニュー
And
ゲー
gonna
ム
restart
プラ
from
スなんで
save,
こ
because, again, puts us a little
う、なん
closer
か
to
こう
where we
戦
need to
闘
go.
シーンに引っかかることな
And then
く、
we're gonna head off to the
淡
next
々
Nora
とこ
quest,
うス
which
トー
is
リ
the
ーを進めてい
Revenge
って
of
る
the
感じで
Nora,
すよね。
which has a little unique trick to it. But first, there's a little bit of a right there, so I think we can fit in like 2 donations if you want.
Oh, I got them coming. We are getting a ton of $50 donations building up towards that GTA 3 run. We
Awesome.
just crossed $70,000 on that. We need $19,500 to get that run added to the marathon. So let's grab a couple of those on the way here. I've got Little Blonde Russian coming in with $50. I'm 4
まあ
years
まあや
too late to the party and just finished Horizon Zero Dawn, so I am so excited to watch Elk destroy the game in less than 2 hours when it took me 80 plus hours. I've
牛より
also
早いです
got
ね、結構。
a $50 donation from Jay Copter. Love seeing Horizon Zero Dawn run at GDQ. My sister had a video game themed wedding, and I dressed as Aloy. I ended up being their flower girl too.
Nice. Yeah, please.
いや、
skip that,
ね、
GTA
サブスクするなら
run,
本
because-
家の方がいいで
Come
す。
on, it's GTA 3. It's Casey. What's not to love about
こ
it?
ちらのチャンネルに
We'll
サ
definitely
ブ
get
ス
there.
ク
We
してい
still
ただ
got
い
a
ても
lot of time. And don't make me
とい
slow
うと
down
ころ
to
があ
make
る
sure
の
we
で
make the goal, by the way.
本家の方に
Anyway,
サ
so
ブ
now
ス
we
クを
got
お
Revenge
願い
of
し
the Nora
ま
coming
す。
up, and this quest is a bit unique because after you complete the Watchief, all the objectives for the quest has
国
already
境な
spawned
き一
in,
団の方にね、
meaning that we can complete them without
なん
starting
ぞ
the quest.
こ
So that's exactly what we're gonna
う、
do.
あれされると思うんで、ぜ
You
ひ、
can call it kind of
皆さん
a sequence break if you will, I
ゲッ
guess.
チプライムとかね、
So
ある方は、
essentially,
ぜひ
there
ぜ
are
ひ
three
サブ
camps
スク
you
ラ
have
イ
to
ブ、
clear, and then you have to go inside the ring of metal at the end,
本
where
家
you
の方にお願いい
fight
た
off
し
the
ます。
remaining Eclipse soldiers here in the area. So we're gonna clear the three camps, and then go to the ring of metal. Now you might be wondering, well, why do you do that before you start the quest? Because 2 things. First, it makes it so you can get to the camps faster, because, you know, starting the quest is a bit further away. And secondly, which I'll explain after the first camp here, because first, gonna take out this guy, bomb this guy, switch to fire arrows,
いや、い
hit
や、
the barrel in the back to hopefully kill
えっと
both.
ね、
We only got
本
one, so we
家
have
の
some
方に
cleanup
ね、
to do after this.
D ストリームの
Bomb
方
the
に
guy
サ
in the
ブスク
middle,
とい
bomb
う
the
か、
guy in the back that survived,
い
and then finish off the watcher
や、
while
いや別にね、
whistling.
いやいや、
Got a little
ありがとう
shot
ござい
there,
ま
so
す。
he survived. That's the first camp. So
もうね、なんか
where
こ
was
う、
I
綺
going?
麗な振り
Oh
と
yeah,
落ち
when
るよ
you're
うにな
doing
り
the
ました
camps
けど、
without starting the quest, there's gonna be no Nora spawned in to help you. Because, surprise, surprise, NPCs, even though they want to help, are not that helpful because they can make the enemies go into places that you are not, you know, you don't want them to go. Because the camps are actually probably one of the most consistent places. Especially this next camp coming up. As long as you do it
これはゲーム
perfectly,
自
it's
体
gonna
も、
work
まあ
the
夜に
exact
なっ
same
たん
way
ですか
every
ね
time.。
外が
So we're
暗
gonna
くな
be a
って
bit。stealthy here. And kill this guy first, kill the guy sitting down, headshot the guy next to the alarm, kill this guy before he sees us. There we go. And yes, this is stealth gameplay. This guy is a little hard to spot at times. And I did miss it. Well, stealth has failed. Or not. Okay, we did get spotted at the end here. But you know, still somewhat stealthy, I guess. And by the way, stealth in my book is, as long as you don't get spotted, it's stealthy gameplay. I think that is how it works, right? So that's the second camp. And then the last camp here, we're gonna go a bit louder than on the second camp. Because we want to go loud at the end, so I'm gonna still kill the first three here. By going up into this guy's face. Killing that guy over the table. Guy in the background here. I shot
めちゃくちゃ
underneath
キ
his
ャラ
arm
コンう
again.
まいっすよ
And then
ね。
for the last guys, I'm gonna intentionally get spotted here before I kill this guy. Use a bomb on that guy. This guy comes out. And then because I intentionally got spotted, this last guy will be out of the trench.
あんだけ爆発しないし気づきよな。
Here we go. Yeah, aim is not exactly on point today. I guess I'm a little bit of
ねえ、エイムがすごい。
But oh well, it happens. It's a
ま
marathon.
あ、この暗さ
But
で
yeah, as you saw there, because I intentionally got spotted
遠くの
that guy
敵
comes
も
out
バ
of
ス
the
バス
trench,
倒して
giving
い
me a
くん
line
で
of
すご
sight
い。
to kill him. Now all three camps are cleared.
場所が
And
分
even
かっ
though
て
we
る
haven't
とはい
started the
え、
quest
す
for
ごいです
some
ね。
reason, Sonanbal is still gonna appear here. Again, even though we haven't started it, so it doesn't make much sense.
If I'm
Which is now gonna start the Ring of Metal part of it. The Ring of Metal is basically an old football stadium that we're gonna go into, and we're gonna set off some blaze. And then we have to clear 3 waves of enemies and a big bellowback machine. So first we have to wait for Val here, so we got some time to set up our weapons. Again, you just want to set up your weapons whenever you have downtime.
なるほど。
And preferably doing it during
ジャンプする
dialogue,
と
because whenever you craft ammo,
エイ
the
ムの
game
補
slows
完が
down,
入るってことです
so you
ね。
can do it in combat. But again,
patience, Varl.
that loses time. But if you can do it during dialogue, you know, dialogue can't be slowed down, so it kind of offsets each other. And you'll notice I have the ice rail ready here. That's because the first wave is already spawned in
め
when
ち
I
ゃく
get
ちゃ
in
顎で
here.
指示されまし
First,
た
there's a
ね。
group of enemies we don't have to kill that we can just walk past.
当てでよかった。
But then I'm gonna use the ice rail or the ice cannon to take out the bellowback here. And that's gonna make a lot of noise, which is perfect because the first wave is very much spread out. And then I'm gonna shoot or kill the bellowback, and by that time it's done, I'm then gonna set off the
Oi.
blaze from really far away with the ice cannon, because the blaze inside here
Oh,
works
後ろから
differently
撃たれ
to
てるんですか？
anywhere else in the game. And making all that noise is gonna get the entire first wave to bunch up together right here where I want them to.
お、なんかボス
First,
っ
take
ぽ
out
い
the。bellowback, make as
Oh,
much
oh.
noise as possible. Gonna take 3 shots here. Like that, and then turn and shoot the blaze over here in the back.
お
With the
こ
ice
と
cannon.
主様み
Normally
たい
you're
なや
supposed
つ
to
をや
get
られ
really
ましたね。
close to hit a fire arrow on it. But yeah, we don't have to
Eh?
do that. And then
Oh.
after the cutscenes, the first wave here will be nice and conveniently bunched a bit more together here. Not always they are, you know, somewhat bunched up, but this works out pretty nicely. And then as soon as we have cleared the first wave here, of
通常の
course,
敵なんです
the
ね、
next
あれ。
wave is gonna spawn in. Did I get that guy? I did. Couldn't really tell there. The next wave is gonna spawn over here in the back because I was so far ahead. That forces to spawn on this side. use my focus to make sure that I've killed everyone, because you do not want to move on for a wave before you have killed everyone, because otherwise extra enemies can actually spawn. This guy there. Whoops. So you want to make sure you have cleaned up as much as possible before you move on. Gonna hit the barrel there that took out 3. There's a guy more in the back. I think we're good. Yep. And then open the map twice again, and then I'm gonna go back to the campfire next to the first camp. Because now we actually have to start the quest we just did. Because the game doesn't allow you to progress unless you complete the camp or complete the quest.
背中に燃料タンクがある。
Technically by starting it. But like I said, since we have already completed all the objectives,
爆発しや
the
すい
game
体
is
制で
just
来てくれはるんですね。
as you're gonna see right here. When I start the quest by saving at this campfire, gonna make sure my mount is close. Go through the dialogue here or the intro cutscene. And because all the cutscenes are, all the objectives are cleared, the quest completes instantly. Which is convenient, because here where the quest start is right on the path where we need to go next. And just to explain how I was able to shoot that blaze with an ice cannon. So the blaze inside the ring of metal is programmed differently to other blaze, because normally you have to use explosive or fire to set it off. But inside ring of metal, it just has to be anything that does enough damage to set it off, meaning I can use the ice cannon, which can shoot things from really far away, to get a nice big explosion without getting close to it. So that works out pretty nicely. And Grave Horde coming up is a little complicated. So before I get to the complicated part, why don't we have, let's get a few more donations, shall we? Let's have a 2 or 3 before we get there.
All right, I'm going to try and get through these pretty quick. I've got a $100 donation from Sandals. I need that small neck and GTA 3. We are just a hair over $18,000 away from that. Keep it up, everybody. I've got a $200 donation from Ted Farrow.
GTA 3がま
Sorry
だ
about the whole apocalypse thing. I sure hope Liz can fix this.
あれですね。足りてないっつってますね。
And you can go for 2 more here before I get there.
All right, sounds good. Hexy coming in with $250. Let's get the GTA incentive. And then I've got to get this one in real quick. $25 from Panda Slothacorn. Happy anniversary to my wife. Perfect day. GDQ is on, Horizon is on, and I get to watch all of it with my best friend in the world. Happy anniversary to the most amazing person I know.
That's awesome. Happy anniversary. So Grave Horde here is all the way to the north of the map here. So now we have made our way
このイベント自体の進行にも関わるような寄付もあるので、ぜひぜひチャレンジしてみてください。
You know, we have 2 tricks
カードが取らない方はね、
basically back to back, and then we have to fight. But luckily, after the fight, there's another hologram where I get time to explain it.
T シャツとかね、買ってあげたい、グッズ買ってあげたりすると寄付になるので、ぜひ故郷なき次第に。というところで、こう、なんか次の場所の洞窟にたどり着きましたね。 そうですね、シャツのデザイン、なんかね、この GDQ の T シャツね、去年とか今年のお正月とかにあった GDQ の T シャツいっぱい、まあ、結果的に買ったんですけど、着てるとね、年配の方に妙に受けがいいんですよね。ゲームがどうのこうのとかじゃなくて、可愛い T シャツ着てるねって声かけられることがものすごいね、近所のおじさんとかにいきなり。何が起こってるのかよくわかんないですけど、近所のおじさんと GDQ のつながりは全然わかんないんですけど、すごい声かけられるようになりましたね。なので皆さんぜひ、常用できるので、ぜひ T シャツ買ってみてください。
The answers are always the same, so you can just plug them in immediately.
ここすごい。
And then right after this,
ホログラムぐるぐる回してますね。
In Grave Horde here, because this is one of the coolest places if you're into like, speedrun tricks. Granted, Horizon doesn't have that many speedrun tricks compared to other games, but This is where you want to pay attention if you want to see the
女の子っていうのもちょっとあんまり知らないんでよくわかんないですけど。まあ、いいんじゃないですかね。いや、多分ね、欧米のゲーマーじゃないと、多分70歳とかのね、こう、近所にいる元大学教授のおじいちゃんとかに急にこう、T シャツかわいいですねとかって声かけられてるんですよ。はぁっていうことがね、あるんでね。おじいちゃんに受けるっていうのよくわかんない。何が起こってるんですかね、あれ。
Or it's not a hologram, but dialogue with silence.
ゲームに詳しい方とかじゃないですよ、多分みんな。声かけてくれたって。なんかね、それコントローラーだよねとか言って。GDQ のコントローラーとこうゲームの画面の書いてある T シャツがね、何種類かあるんですけど。それってゲームのコントローラーだよねっていうようなこういうのよくわからん声の書き方されるでね。往年のコントローラーマニアの可能性がねあるんですけど、ゲームに詳しい方じゃないとは思うんで。あ、これドア開けたりできるんですよ、くるって回るやつ。
So let me just start the hologram here, and then we'll get back into the room and explain what just happened.
気づいたら僕もタスボットの T シャツ着てましたね。
First, let's just set up our weapons here, so we don't have to do that later. That was a pretty quick fight. Again, our weapons are quite powerful in New Game Plus. So normally you have to be in the room and listen to the hologram, but turns out holograms still play if you leave the room, so you don't have to watch it. Which is convenient, and it will be important later, so remember that for later. So what happened? So I picked up the power cell, which skips the dialogue between Aloy and Silence, which then opens that door I came through up there a little earlier.
まあね、往年の RTS 奏者。いや、
excuse me. So picking up the power cell skips the dialogue,
年金について調べてる。年金って、ややこしいな。年金って金類ね。金について調べてる。大学教授やってたおじいちゃんですけどね。バイオ RTA みたいなのしてるかもしれないですけど。
So what happens in the cutscene is Aloy walks
なんか
through the
妙に
door
ね、
and
キ
then
ノコ
stands
とか
on
に
this
詳
floor,
しいおじいちゃんな。
and then the cutscene ends. So destroying the floor and then
ほう、
skipping the
南
cutscene
方熊
makes
楠
Aloy
関
fall
係の
down.
ね、
But
関
it
係
turns
の
out
っ
in
て言っ
this
たら
game, if you
あれやけど、
start falling in the middle of a
なんか
cutscene,
審査員もやってるとか言っ
your
てました
falling
ね、なんか
damage
ショ
gets
ーの。
cancelled. Thereby,
あ
I
んま
can
り言うとあ
fall
れなん
all
で
the way
ね。
down without taking any
言うとあ
damage
れな
and
んで、個
immediately
人
go
の
into
あ
the
れに
fight.
なるんで言わないです
Then
け
I
ど。
went up to the Deathbringer,
なんかそ
I
こそ
froze
こ
him,
偉いお
then
じ
I
いちゃん
got
みたいで
really
すけど
close
ね。
to bait out a stomp from him, which delays his missiles attacks just enough time so I can shoot
そうで
2 times
すね、最
from
適
his
なとかね、
cannon
最
to
短で
out,
ね、年
and then
金
clean
が
up the human enemies while moving back towards the left.
迷
Why
路
am I
をク
moving
リア
back
する
towards the left?
RTA み
Because
たいな
that's
ね。
where the door is you need to go through when the fight ends. And one thing you can usually tell by somebody who's experienced running this game versus somebody who's new is how well they are able to be next to the next objective once the fight is
それが
over.
ね、
Compared to a new runner that usually
アンブ
finishes
レラ
the
関係
fight
の
no
とかいい
matter
でしょ。でも
where they
ね、
are.
やっぱりちゃんと
Once
し
you
た
have a
人
bit
な
more
んでね、
experience with the run,
ウイルスと
you
菌
have
は
to
違
start
うっていうの
focusing
は、こ
on
うすごい、
making sure that
そ
when
れ
the
は
fight
違
is
うんです
over,
ってい
you're
つもすごい
already
言われ
on
言われてね、部活に混ぜて
you're
話
already
す
in
と
the
こう
next
話
spot
長
where
く
you
なるん
want
で
to
言
be.
わないですけど。
Essentially minimizing travel time as much as possible.
違うらしいですね、パコ。
Usually a
菌
thing
と。
I always
あ、
notice between, people that run the game a lot versus people that
ジョン・ウ
are
ィックの人
pretty
みたいな
new.
の出てきましたね。
But of course, if you're new to the game, that's not a thing you should at all worry about in the beginning. But it's a good indicator to tell where a person finishes the
もう
fight.
すごいこう広いマップをいっぱい移動してた感じでしたけど、
And if
あえ
you
て全
have
体
a
マップ
keen
を
eye,
見
you
ると
can
まだ意
probably
外と
notice that a lot in a lot of the fights where I try to finish them as
進んで
close to the
と
next
ころ
objective
自
as
体は
possible.
マップ自体広くなかったですね。
So what we are going to do here now is we are going to head back to Meridian to set up another quest we are going to do later.
現状でね、一応2時間の予定のところが1時間ちょうど半分ぐらい進んだところなのかなと思いますけど、ゲームは。
But we're just going to do this now, talk to the king, and then we'll do the rest of the quest later in the run. Because again, it's not convenient for the route at the moment.
さっきとは打って変わって。
Excuse me. I have a bit of a sore throat right now.
石とレンガの出てきた街
once again here, we're going to come up to a good friend Marad here, aka Blameless Marad. Which is another character, again, you're supposed to follow, but again, that's just a suggestion, so you can just walk ahead and wait for him. Unfortunately, in this section, it turns out that the next cutscene doesn't start until Marad gets here. So what I'm going to do is just go up here, and then you'll see Avad and Aaron just stand here and stare into the, you know, just stare blankly into the air while we wait for Marad.
この人も腰に巻いてるやついっぱい CD 貼ってますね。
Probably somebody, you know.
王様、この人が王様なんですか？
You know, the other person probably had as well, but they never really took a chance with it, and you know. And then now they're just standing there wondering, you know, what is that person doing today? Could have done something in the past and all that. But oh well, Marad is here, so let's continue the run. And after this, we're going to be heading to the Eclipse Phase, where we're going to take down the focus network of the Eclipse so they can communicate. And while we're on the way there, we are going to have a little bit of a ride again from A to B, because it is an open world game, so there are some traveling here. Once again here, you're going to see me flip the camera before I whistle for my mount. I don't think I explained it earlier. I think that was the thing I might have forgotten. But essentially, the mount always wants to spawn off camera.
これ牛か馬かは場所によってとかタイミングによって変わるんですかね。選んで呼べるのかな。
So again, if you have a keen eye, pay attention to how much I flip the camera before I whistle for mounts in this run. Anyway, since we are a little bit on our way here, do you mind fitting in another donation?
I do not mind at all. Do you mind if I get a couple in here?
Can we do one, and then I'll explain something, and then you can do more after that?
All right, I'll get this one started. We got a $5 donation from Saraki. Chugga 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 choo choo. $5 train incoming.
Awesome. So I just quickly want to explain here, because this is one of the most important places in the run where you encounter machines on the way to something. Because right here, you actually want to pay attention. We're gonna have machines there. We're gonna have a sawtooth on the left and two fellow packs in front. And then there's another sawtooth all the way to the right. And depending on how early we spotted, and we got spotted really early, the sawtooth on the right is gonna come towards us. We might have done that so early that he's not gonna see us. No, he's right next to us. I'm gonna go across here, use the bridge as cover so he can't hit us. He crossed the bridge because he's smart. Damn it, the machines are getting too smart. The Mount is trying his best to keep him at bay, and we get away. Yeah, I was gonna use the bridge as cover to prevent him from hitting me, but he was too smart and just crossed the bridge and then hit me. The machines are really gonna take over the world, aren't they? Anyway, back to donations.
Okay, so everybody watching, look at the green bar on the bottom of the screen. That is going to tell you how close we are. This train moves that bar to the right, so let's see how many I can get on one breath. I've got a $5 donation from Aloy as Aloy. Wanted to drop my first donation ever during one of my favorite games. Good luck with the run, Aloy is Aloy. Blue Braid Elf sent in $5. $5 train at 55.55. I can do that. Anonymous sent in $5. No comment. Bambi Magnet sent in $5. 5 at 55.55. RD Garrett sent in $5. Go Elk, go, and go chat, go.
Names are
silly sent in $5.55 with no comment. Alora sent in $5. Choo choo. Serio X sent in $5. With no comment. Oh, wait, that was a comment.
Very nice. Right here, again, abusing the checkpoints, because you hit a new, checkpoint there, but when you restart from save, you spawn a lot further ahead. Now we're gonna head into the Eclipse Phase, which doesn't really have any combat, but it has a lot of skips back to back. So first off, I'm gonna make sure in my quick menu in the bottom left that I have my mount ready, because I'm gonna need that after we go through this entire section. So you're supposed to be, again, stealthy here in the next section, but there's no penalty for just running straight down the middle, so
じゃあ、特ダネっぽい挨拶にしときましたけど。
So there's two groups of machines here. There's first one, gonna try to dodge that. That was perfectly timed. And then just continue straight down the middle. Normally there's a climbing path on the left here you're supposed to take, but conveniently there's a branch sticking out here that I can just use the hitboxes off to jump up here early. And the first section, then we're in the second section where there's a ton of scrappers. And it looks like they're just all having their back turned, so they can't do anything. And then again here, gonna do some climbing, which leads us into the next section where you're supposed to fight a ton of Eclipse soldiers. But conveniently, there's a massive gate on the right with a ton of hitboxes that we're gonna use. So I'm gonna jump on top of this torch and then use the remainder of the hitboxes to simply go across the gate and skip that entire fight. Or torch, you could also call it the land. I mean, it is GDQ, so let's call it the land. And then we're gonna head down here to the tall neck, where we destroy the focus network, and then we have to make our daring escape. And this is usually the make or break whenever you do a no damage run of this game, or whenever I do it, because sadly I'm still the only person to have completed a full no damage run of this game. And this section, as you're about to see, is pretty hard to do without taking damage. What we're gonna do here is another floor skip where you just jump around and skip some climbing.
荒れ果てたマップに行ったりとかっていうのを目まぐるしく進んでますね。
Jump across, skip the climbing, you can just barely make that jump.
牛と馬なんて住んでるとこそんな変わるんですかね。大体同じとこにいる。ラクダとね、馬とかやったらこう気候によってとかありそうですけど、牛と馬なんですね。
By simply jumping over all these rocks, which also skips a couple of enemies that are on the left. And now we're already at the end of the escape here. We can just simply go through all these guys. Just continue ahead. And then we have the rappel here where we make our escape. And here is rookie mistake number 2.
至近距離で背中に矢打たれてましたけど、意外と大丈夫でしたね。
That might have looked pretty quick there, but every new runner of this game always fast travels too early. The game soft locks the quest if you fast travel. Actually, no, it's a hard lock because the quest can't be completed, I think. Actually, not sure. If you fast travel too early there. So wait for the text to pop up that you completed the quest before you fast travel. Again, one of those things that every runner messes up on their first run. And you always learn it the hard way. Some things are just best taught the hard way, I guess. Because, you know, it's such a simple thing that, you know, you're probably not going to think about it on your first run, and then you're just like,
あれなんですかね、赤いライトはこう、オウム的な、あれなんですか
Speaking of which, we actually have a really great community for Horizon speedruns.
ライトの色がね、こう変わってきますね、機械獣たちの。
Of course, no release date, but we are still waiting for that. But yeah, we got a great community with people from basically all over the world, from Australia to Europe, North America, Africa, India, you know, South America. Lots of runners from across the world, all passionate about, you know, not only the game, but also speedrunning the game. And last time I was at GDQ, I was talking about how amazing 2020 had been for us, and we kept getting more runners. And that has not slowed down. There are still more runners coming into this game, and it's lovely to see. So, if you're interested in learning this game, it's actually pretty easy to learn. There's a lot of stuff and a lot of friendly people in the community that can easily help you out with getting started. So the only person that usually are holding you back from learning this game as a speedrun is yourself. So yeah, consider stopping by our community sometime. First, we're just gonna skip the climbing by jumping between these two pillars and get down safely. Then we got some unskippable dialogue here. But yeah, I mean, you can go to speedrun.com and find our Discord server where we hang out, talk about strats and all sorts of other things. So if you're interested in learning this game, it's super easy and the community is extremely welcoming. It's by far the best speedrunning community I've ever been a part of. So you're always welcome there, so join if you're interested. And there's all sorts of runs. Even if you're not into New Game Plus, which I'm doing here, you know, there's any %, which is where you do a new game from a fresh playthrough. If you're more into that style of gameplay. So yeah, lots of things. You can also run the DLC, 100% running grounds, all sorts of great things. Now we're entering Zero Dawn here, aka roll credits. Because this is the facility we have to go through.
またこのあれですね、丸をくるく
In
る
here
回
we're gonna
す
see
ド
some
アの
interesting skips
旧
once
文
again that
明
are
の
again gonna happen quickly back to back.
遺跡へ入
And
っ
we're
ていく
gonna
わけで
have
す
the
ね。
most. I think most people would agree this is the most interesting
お、
trick
X
of
メン
the
の口
run,
みたいなの出てきた。
which is just commonly referred to as Zero Dawn skip, even though it doesn't skip Zero Dawn, but you know, semantics.
開くんや。
Life on Earth didn't cease to exist.
Starting off here, there's just a lot of setup here for the story, and then we'll get into
Somehow.
the battle here. So first section, we are gonna have 3 soldiers come at us with the fire cannons, which do a lot of damage. So we preferably wanna kill them as fast as possible
なんか騒が
without
してる
missing
んで
too
す
much,
ね。
because otherwise they can just absolutely
なんか
melt
わ
us.
からなかったけど。
I can pass them undetected.
First, we just have one more cutscene to go through. Gonna hug the left wall here.
ここ開い
'cause
てる。
enemies that are not necessary to kill are behind me. So hug the left wall makes it so they don't spot you.
The whole Earth. Just
And then coming up here is
さあ、
the
グッ
fight.
ドニュース
I'm
って
gonna
言っ
kill
て
the
ます
guy in the
ね。
middle first because his animation always is a bit more stationary than the 2 guys on the left and right. So it's a little easier to pop the headshot at that guy, then go to the left, headshot, and then the last guy.
お、
Perfect shooting there. That's what we
近
like.
代的、近代
Then the
的
next
という
skip
か、
immediately right after
未来
here,
的な
there's
武
a
器なの、
parcel
最
you
近
need to
的
grab
な。
to activate the second parcel.
maybe there's a storage area.
You can just squeeze Aloy in between this pike and the floor above.
お、なんか、何かを、
Come on. There we go.
Found one. Looks intact.
Little bad angle there on that one.
何かを
But
諦
you
めた
squeeze
形
Aloy
跡
in
がありま
between
すね。
those two things, and she, clips through the floor, and you can grab the power cell from below. Meaning that you only have to do one of the puzzles here, because the other puzzle is just to go upstairs. So nice little trick to get the puzzle cell and just do one puzzle. Now next
こ
room
う
here,
パズ
there's
ル
3
的な
guys.
要
I'm
素なん
only
です
gonna
かね、こ
kill
れは。
one because I have to
丸
leave
を
some
く
of
る
them
くる。
alive. I'm only killing one of them for safety reasons because he shoots bombs, which is
待
this
って
guy
んの
right
かな、
here.
今の。
Which makes this skip a little hard because I'm gonna jump up this pillar, which has the world's smallest hitbox that I have to stand on. So jump up here, turn camera, and jump onto the catwalk to skip the rest of that fight. Normally there's a lot more enemies you have to kill there. Now pay attention to the top left corner, where it says the quest name and the quest objective. That's not gonna change for a
お、
while.
また、
I'm jumping over there to skip the catwalk, completely skipping the last room of
パル
Zero
クール
Dawn,
アクション
or
を。
the last enemy room of Zero Dawn. And then another skip up to a catwalk here by using the environment again to cut through this room faster.
空中でね、
Like I said,
弓
pay
を構
attention
え
to where
る
it
と、
says deep secrets of the earth. Kill
こ
the
れなんかさっ
eclipse.
き見たな、ここ。
So the skip I did jumping up that pillar
似て
is
るだけ
part
か。
of the
空
Zero
中で
Dawn
弓を構えると
glitch
ね、こう、
slash skip. So what
物
that
理
did
法
is
則、
it
重
puts
力が
the
緩
game
くなるっ
in,
ぽいん
for
です
lack
け
of a
ど、
better word,
そ
confused
れを
state.
うまく使っ
Where
て
it still thinks
登らは
you're
り
in
ま
the
した
middle of
ね。
that fight because the game doesn't think you can skip it. And it's going to continue to be in that state until you either restart from save or die. So it's very important we don't die right now. Because it's going to be important for later. But unfortunately, the glitchy state here is going to make this next section here a little bit harder.
It doesn't.
Because normally there's a behemoth you have to fight here in this arena, and we still have to fight him. But normally his AI is different from normal
なん
behemoths.
か捕まっ
But
て、
because we
闘
did
技
the trick, you
場
can see the quest or the quest objective
で
still
掘
thinks
り
we
込ま
are
れたみたい
inside
な
Zero
感じです
Dawn
かね。
fighting the eclipse.
Against it.
So the behemoth for this, the behemoth AI here is still normal behemoth AI. Because normally in this fight, the behemoth's AI changes to be more aggressive towards these pillars you have to bring
確か
down.
に粉々にされ
But
そ
what
う。
I'm gonna do here is do some very specific movement to get him to go up here and then stomp this pillar, where he normally would charge it. And that is actually really precise to
お
do the
中
movement there.
が汚れ
And
てす
also
ぐ綺麗
notice the
になっ
glitch
た。
here. There's 2 platforms. One is collapsing, one is staying. Yeah, the game is in a glitchy state, as I said. And you'll also notice the pillars are still here after the fight. And I can't really look up, but yeah, you can see the platform is still there. The game is a bit confused. Because again, it thinks I'm inside Zero Dawn. So yeah, the AI for the behemoth is
Oh,
normal
すごい。
AI because the quest hasn't updated, so it
見てー
doesn't
っ
see a
て、
reason to give him
見
the
てーって、
AI he's
何
supposed to have in this arena. Now we actually get to
め
fight
ちゃ
him,
く
which
ちゃ
is
決
super
めてきた
easy.
け
You
ど、
just
今の。
bait out an attack and then start freezing him. He's gonna go for another one. Hit him with the freeze here until he's completely frozen, and then 2
一応ラ
triple
ン
shots
です
here
ね。
to
す
a
ご
bare
い。
spot on his body.
一緒みたいな顔してましたね。
So the fight itself doesn't really matter. It's only on the pillar section the AI difference matters. And also it doesn't really matter how fast you kill that behemoth, but I can explain that in one sec. Because first you're gonna see why we're doing the Zero Dawn skip. Not only the pillar inside Zero Dawn that we skipped up saves about 30 seconds, but because we still have the glitch active, there's another 30-second time save we can do right here. Which is, because we're inside Zero Dawn, we can fast travel wherever we want. And the next quest here you're normally supposed to do is the Heart of the Nora, where you're not allowed to fast travel inside the Embrace because it's under attack. But because the game still thinks we're inside Zero Dawn,
なんかね、耳にね、機械をつけてはるんですね、みんな。
And now we're just gonna get rid of the glitch after the fast travel here, because the enemies doesn't spawn unless the 2 previous quests are completed.
あ、こうね、皆さん出てこられる方は耳がこう。
Spawns in the enemies and the quest while we're inside the Embrace, so we don't have to travel through it. So that is the full Zero Dawn glitch and why we do it. So in total it saves almost a full minute doing all that. And as for the behemoth, why it doesn't matter, I'll explain it maybe a bit later, because I don't have time. I didn't realize this was gonna go so fast. Anyway, going up here, we don't have to kill any of these enemies, we just have to go up here and fight, you know, the famous machine, the Thunderjaw, the one everybody knows from Zero Dawn. So this fight is also a bit interesting. Normally there's some dialogue that has to play before the cutscene starts, but I'm gonna shoot him early. That's gonna make him aggressive. That starts the cutscene a lot earlier than it's supposed to. Then I'm gonna get close to him and try to get on the side of him and try to freeze him here while he's standing sideways.
ね、血管むき出しみたいな大きいやつがさっきからちょいちょい出てきますね。ゾイドみたいな。
Unfortunately here he's got his leg pushed up, so I can't do the fast strat, so I have to pick up this gun instead. And just do a ton of damage while he's frozen. I didn't mean to stab that guy, but he was right next to me when I was loading, so that happens. Finish him off with 2 more shots. So normally what's supposed to happen in that fight, by the way, clear out these guys with bombs.
里帰りしたら最初の村ですかね。
So normally what's supposed to happen is the Thunderjaw has a massive weak spot in his heart, which is on the side.
襲撃されてるとこをこう後ろから挟み撃ちみたいな感じで変えてきたわけです。
You saw his leg was kind of put up on a rock, which puts his knee in front of the heart, so you can't shoot into the heart.
あれですね。
And yeah, that's
襲
just
撃
annoying.
したりされたり
Loses
を
a
繰り
lot of
返
time,
して
and
るん
there's
ですね。
nothing you can do about it. Still a quick kill though, but trust me, you can kill a Thunderjaw so much faster if you have access to the heart. And a bit of a shame I couldn't show it off, but just got really unlucky with that leg placement there. Now we head inside All Mother Mountain here.
Figured I might be hearing from you.
また遺跡ですね。
And actually, fun fact, I guess we can quickly explain it. If you examine that thing down there, you get Aloy's birthday. In case you didn't know, Aloy's birthday is April 4th in the year 3021.
めちゃくちゃ落書きが
Meaning
されてま
that
すね。
Aloy will be born in roughly 1,000 years from now. Or back in April, it was exactly 1,000 years from now.
You are clear to proceed.
The rest of the thing we're just doing here is more story stuff. This is, you know, the sad part of the story where you actually figure out that, you know, Aloy went out into the world originally to find out who her mother was. And in these cutscenes, we just skip right here. Yeah, it basically turns out Aloy doesn't have a mother because she was giving artificial birth. Which then leads us to the next objective, because not only did she figure that out, she also learns that the reason why she was born is to prevent really bad things from happening.
壁に落書きもあったんで、地下鉄の駅なのかな
So first we have to exit the mountain here before we're allowed to fast travel again, and then we are going to do the Borderlands quest that we set up earlier. And once again, there's a little bit of a ride to get to Borderlands, so you know, you had a donation train going, so can we get some more of those on the way to Borderlands? That would be very nice.
I think I've got a couple more here I can throw at you. Carter sent in another $5. Choo, choo, choo. Jen Fay sent in $5. I just caught the train. Choo, choo. We've got a couple other here I wanted you to hear. Everyday Aussie sent in $50. Good luck, Elk. So excited to see Horizon Zero Dawn main game here on GDQ. And I'm ready to see you smash out this run. This game is special.
Shoutouts to Aussie. He was the guy I originally learned the run from. When I joined the community, he still has the records in those categories. But, you know, because we don't really run the same categories anymore. But I learned the run from him, so huge shout out to him. He recently got the world record in the new Ratchet and Clank game, but I'm not sure if he has it still, because, you know, new game, records change. But shout outs to us. Great member of the community. And has done a lot for this game in terms of skips and strat optimization. So yeah, we're heading to Borderlands now, which is the final quest, or actually no, it's the second to last quest in the figuring out what happened to Aaron's sister. But there's still a bit more travel time here. You'll notice me cross the river here and go on the right side of the river. This is to activate a campfire that we're going to use after Borderlands to go to Gaia Prime quickly. Because normally, yeah, it is faster to stay on the left side to get to where the Borderlands quest is. But going on the right side is a little faster because you activate that campfire along the way. So yeah, sorry I interrupted you, but feel free to, if you can, do 2 more donations or something. Or a shout out or something.
No, I think we can get a couple. And also, just a quick update. We are now under $11,000 left to GTA 3. So everybody, please keep it up. Train is moving to the right. I have a $500 donation from Black Thrawn. Zero Dawn is my favorite game, and SGDQ and AGDQ is my favorite holiday. Thank you to all of the runners and everyone that helps make this event possible. Y'all are a ray of sunshine in an otherwise rough year. Wish everyone the best RNG.
Very nice. The right there went past the campfire. If you paid attention to the navigation bar on top, you probably would have seen it activate. Campfires in this game activate when you are within 50 feet of them. I do have to apologize for using feet as a measurement. But I guess the developers wanted this game to feel, you know, like very primitive and stuff, so that's why they're using feet as a measurement. Anyway, let's restart from save here to get into the village a little quicker. Always gotta take a jab at the, you know, Imperial units when you have the opportunity. That is, that is what we have to do as, you know, people that use the metric system. Anyway, going into the village here, you just have to quickly go out and find the agent right here, so there's nothing really takes place here. So just go out, find the agent, obviously cutscenes and stuff, but again, we don't got time for that. Again, you should play the game if you want to know the story, and I highly recommend it. This is one of the very must-plays for any PS4, PS5 owner, or PC now, because it is on PC. So you almost have no excuse for not playing this game unless you're one of those people that only have Xbox or Switch. I'm sure there's like 10 people like that out there. Anyway, right there, there's 2 Ravagers, and both of them seem to have been roaring, so no, he's chasing. But he did it so late. Doesn't matter. Snap moors we have to navigate through, because there's a big fight we come up to here, which, again, I'm gonna try my best to be stealthy at the beginning of the fight here. And again, when I say stealthy, I mean not get spotted. Because there's a lot of enemies in this fight that has a ton of health, and taking them out specifically to avoid being spotted, as you know, for as long as possible, just makes the fight so much more consistent. And like I said, they have a ton of health, so some of them you can body shot with the powerful bow I have, and others you do have to get a headshot here. So we're just gonna run straight ahead here. There's 3 overlooking where I'm coming from, so I'm gonna take out the 3 here. 1 has to be a headshot because they have a lot of health. Then get into the gate here, look to the left. There's a girl there, body shot. Guy in the middle has to be a headshot. Another archer up here has to be a headshot. Jump over this fence before this guy sees you. I barely got him there. Headshot the girl in the hut. Headshot the girl in the next tower. Look to the left. There's a girl almost spotting us. Oh, yes. That's fine. Because at this point we can get spotted easily because the last enemies are pretty consistent where they appear, the remaining 3 here. And you notice I use triple shots here to deal with these, because again they have a lot of... Oops. They have a lot of health. And when they're moving around, obviously hitting headshots is a little harder. Switch to the ice cannon, and then there's a guy coming through the store which has a ton of health. So we headshot him with the ice cannon to finish him off easily. And then we deactivate this, and then we go down here and we find Ursa, Olin's sister. And I keep saying Olin, it's Aaron. But sadly she passes away as we find her. So we have to go and get our revenge later for that. But that finishes off Borderlands, and now we're going to be heading to Gaia Prime, which is basically this place where that finishes off the story of Aloy learning about the past and what happens. And basically spills all the beans as to, you know, why is the world the way it is after, you know, the apocalypse, and why did civilization not recover even though Zero Dawn was in place to, you know, teach people what, you know, all the stuff they need to learn. Because we'll find out, because there's a hologram that will explain that. There's actually 2 holograms, but we're only gonna watch one of them. They did a clever trick with these holograms when they designed this place, because there's, like I said, there's 2. The first one you see is the sad one, where, by the way, Elizabeth Sobek, turns out she died, you know, saving other people. So that's the first one. That one makes you sad, and then right after they hit you with another hologram that makes you angry. I just got stumped by a trembler, or trembled by a trembler. It doesn't matter too much, because tremblers are pretty easy to get away from, even if you're knocked off. So of course a little time loss, but no big deal. So yeah, they hit you with the sad hologram, and then they immediately hit you with the one that makes you angry. Unless you're one of those people in my community that likes to say that Farrah did nothing wrong, then you might have a different opinion.
ちっちゃくしかね、こう何かの大きなショートカットがある感じでもないんで。
But yeah, in order to get to Gaia Prime, there's this mountain path you have to go through with a ton of machines. Well, there's a faster route that skips every single machine. So why not use that? So first we are going to do a little bit of a Skyriming Up the Mountain, as we call it. Because I don't have to explain that. You guys know what Skyriming Up the Mountain means. In order to get up here to the side, where we can just walk up the mountain without worrying about any of all the machines here. You can just walk through all the machines, you don't have to fight any of them, but you take a lot of damage if you try to, and also machines hitting you slows you down, so avoiding them is nice. Also, the game will tell you here that you're leaving the play area and you should turn back. Luckily for us, this message is not time-based. You can stay here for like forever and the game never sends you back. It just means that if you go too far out of bounds, it'll send you back. So we're just gonna skirt around the edge here.
そうですね、脚力だけで上がってきますね。
And then you might remember from your normal playthrough that there's a big scary stormbird here. Well, going over the mountain like that completely skips the stormbird, because the stormbird only spawns if you watch the cutscene, and we get nowhere near that cutscene trigger, so there's no stormbird here. Which just makes it really easy to go to Gaia Prime. So we drop down here and then whistle for now. And then we can head into Gaia Prime.
左上のゲージがガスッ
Where
と
we're
減り
gonna
まし
do
たね。
another trick to save some time. Because we, like I said, we have to watch 2 holograms. But in order to speed it up, we are gonna manipulate a bunch of checkpoints inside here. Because the problem with Gaia Prime is there's, like I said, 2 holograms, but after each hologram you have to talk to Silence. After each one. So you can't just, you know, start one, wait for it to run out, you know, in some other place, because you have to go back and talk to Silence. So in order to circumvent that, we'll, well, it'd be a little easier to explain once I'm inside. First, again, a little more climbing skipping here on the left. Basically, climbing is really annoying in this game, and it's kind of slow, so whenever you have the opportunity to skip the quote-unquote intended climbing, you want to do that by abusing basically all the hitboxes in the environment, because you can basically stand on pretty much
これとは
anything you
こう
want.
定期的にホログラムであれなんですね。 こう導いてくれてるんです
So
ね。
you also see here, normally you're supposed to, use all those climbing spots to climb down, but you can just skip them by, using gravity, I guess. Gravity tends to be faster than climbing down.
That's my way across.
But I won't always recommend it, especially in real life. And now we are heading towards the first hologram. So the problem with the holograms is also they are really far away from each other. It takes about 45 seconds to travel from the first one to the second one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the first hologram and then start it. And remember what I said at Gravehorde? You don't have to be
あ
in
れ
the
で
room
す
for
ね、
the
今まで
hologram
の
to
遺
keep
跡と
playing.
違ってこ
So while the first hologram is playing, which is the sad one with Sobak
う
guys,
破壊の
we
跡
should
が大
probably
きい
get
で
some
す
sad
ね。
emotes and some, F in the chat or R2 if you have played Ghost of
永
Tsushima.
年劣化的な壊れ方が。
So,
ドアも
you
死
know,
んで
to
ま
mourn
す
her
し。
death. But we don't get to see the hologram, because as soon as I start it, I will be heading to the second hologram, which you're not supposed to get to before you watch the first one. But, we have our ways. And now, basically, I could stand still for like a little bit of time and just wait, because all I have to do is just get to the second hologram before the first one ends. Because that's gonna set up some checkpoints to be abused.
なるほど。人類の真実が
So
こ
you
こ
can
で。
hear the holograms playing, but once we get far enough away, the subtitles and the voice will disappear. But it's still playing. You can see by the quest objective it says view the hologram.
人類の真実。
So it's still playing even though I'm far away. And you can also tell by the music. But now I'm heading back to the start of Gaia Prime here,
で
which
な
is
真
this
実が何
area
な
here
のかまだ
that has been completely
アルティ
destroyed
や
by
と
an
分かん
accident
ないんでしょ
explosion.
うけど。ずっとね。
And then we're gonna do a little trick
They
to get up
tasted
to the
a
second
kind of-
hologram. So the second hologram is there's some climbing spots that are just out of reach by normal means, so you can't climb up from the other side. But what we're gonna do here is a little bit of parkour using this environment here. I want to stand on top of
ね
this
ゲ
pillar.
ーム自体はすごい面
I'm
白
gonna
そうな
run here
こう
to
ス
get
ト
some
ーリーがね
momentum, turn
ね
around,
作り
stand
込ま
on
れた
this,
感じがあっ
jump
て
across,
お
get Aloy to camera. Camera is messing me up there. There we go. Jump up to this plate. Make sure I can run and jump up here. And then we get up to this platform, and now you see I'm just high enough to grab these climbing spots that are supposed to be out of reach. I simply jump across and grab them. Now I can climb up to the second hologram. There's actually 3 ways of doing that skip to get to these, and I tend to use what is
ね
considered
ス
the
キップ
hardest
されてし
version
まっ
of
た
that
んで
skip.
真実はぜひ
But
皆
that
さ
was the
ん
first version of the skip we found, and I personally found it
やってみてく
myself,
れって感じで
so
す
I
ね
have a
自
bit
分
of
で
pride in using that one. So that's why I don't use the easy version of the skip, but if you're learning to run, there's a much easier
When I opened the hatch,
way of doing that skip,
air rushed in
but
from this
I want to use my own skip. And like I said, it doesn't matter how fast you do it, you just have to start the second hologram, which I just did, before the first one ends. And now I just leave the room. You don't have to leave the room. As soon as you've activated, you could just wait.
すごいな
Because now we wait for the first one to end. And we know the first one has ended when where it says view the hologram in top left corner gets crossed out. Then I'm gonna restart from save. Because when the
あれ
first
ですね
hologram
壁
ends,
とか中空を
the
見な
game
がら
sets
喋
my
ってることが
checkpoint
こ
at
の
the
人
first
多いですけ
hologram
ど
because I need to talk to Silence. So I don't have to travel back here. So now we just wait. Could pop up here in a sec. You can also tell by the music. The reason why I leave the room, you saw it right there, get crossed out. The reason why I leave the room is so I can hear the music, because sometimes I'm bad at paying attention. So sometimes I use the music to know when the first one is gonna end. And so that's why I like to leave the room of the
PS
second
スト
hologram.
アで1000円以下
Then I can talk to Silence here.
that's can't
ちょっ
she
と前は
doesn't
ただ
to ca- if it
And then because the second hologram is
でもね
active,
制作者
after I
の
talk
方
to
にやっぱりお
Silence, I
金を
can
払
then
ってあ
restart
げ
from
ると
save, and that puts
喜
me
ばはる
back
とは思う
at
ん
the
で
second hologram, which is then gonna start over. But even though we started it, but it starts over when you restart from save. So essentially what we did there is we abused the checkpoints to quickly go back and forth between the holograms and, skip the travel between the holograms because, remember, we did the traveling between the two while the first one was playing anyway. And that saves those 45 seconds of
チ
having
ー
to
ムで
travel between them.
2940円ですねコ
And
ン
that
プ
leaves
リー
us
ト
here
エディ
with the
ショ
bad
ン
hologram, or the one
メ
that
イ
makes
キ
you
ング
angry,
オブ
aka
が
the
無
test
料に
one.
なってますねおこれが真
Where
実
Ted is sadly gonna kill these people for reasons. So yeah, hopefully that explains it. And also a fun fact about the Gaia Prime skip here is The original version of the skip, we thought we had to go back to the first hologram in order to get the checkpoint to work. But when I was doing a run,
さっき
I
喋ってた
accidentally
セリ
died
フ
on the
と
way
同じ
back
ものが
after the first hologram
同じお
ended.
話をしてあり
And
ま
then I
すね。
realized I spawned
さっ
at
き
the
ほ
first
んのり聞こえ
hologram.
てたみたいな感じですかね。
And then I was like, oh, you can just restart from save when it's over and save a lot of time. And on that exact run, I thought my run had just died because I died on the way back. But it turns out I actually saved, I think, 20 seconds and got a world record because of it. So, yeah, unintentional finding of, or unintentional optimizing a skip and getting a record for it.
なんかこう
So
大事な
that's a
話
fun
をし
thing
た
that
雰囲
happened
気あり
about
ますね、
3 years
みんな
ago.
で。
And that was pretty fun at the time. So, yeah. All there's left now after we're done here at Gaia Prime, we have one more quest done before we unlock the final quest, which is where Dervil's gonna attack the city
なんか
to
犠
get
牲になる
revenge
とか
and
ならん
that's
とか
part
言
of
って
the
ますね。
sister line with Aaron. But that is the only quest we have left before the end game starts here. And right here it said, as you can see,
ああ、ほんまや、こう足元に転がってるこの
and that's why
骨。
people don't have any
あ
knowledge of the
あ
past.
なんか
And yeah, like I said, some people in my community like to say Ted Farrow did nothing wrong.
いきなり
I'm
み
not
ん
saying
な
I'm endorsing it, but it's funny.
骨に吸収されましたね、ホログラム
And
が。
right here, Silent's gonna spawn, because again, we have to talk to him after the hologram.
The world not a
Then we can simply go around, pick up the Master Override, which we need to use at the end to stop the final boss called Hades. Again, if you haven't played the game, you probably don't know what I'm talking about, but there's a lot of lore, and I can't go over it in 2 hours. There are people that have dedicated like
あいつやったわけですね、
hundreds
誰
of
か
hours
知らないで
to
すけ
going
ど。
over all the story, so
誰やった
doing
ん
it
や
in
つ
2
は。
hours while speedrunning is
お
not
な
easy. But yeah, now we're just gonna head back to Silence here
すごいジャンプにちょっ
and
と
talk
鼻
to
水
him,
出た。
and then we're gonna be in the actual fight,
崖から
you
飛び降
know,
り
the
たかと
final
思っ
stage
た
of。the game with the last 2 quests, because they both take place in Meridian. So
あいつ
there
ね、
might
あ
not
い
be
つ
too
がやっ
much
たか
time
らで
left
すね。
for any more donations. So
毒、
if you
毒を持ったの
wanna
か
just shoot, you know, 3 or 4 donations in here before we begin on the end.
な。あれ
then,
ホログラムの人出てきましたね、また。
Absolutely, I'm ready. So, quick update, everybody.
ジョン・ウ
We
ィッ
are
クのホテル
just
の
a
人。
little bit over $8,000 left to get that GTA 3 run in. So
come
please
on, you can do it.
keep it coming. We've got some big help coming in, though. An Eternal Enigma, member of the host fam, has sent in $1,000. Let's make this really simple. I love Grand Theft Auto 3. You love Grand Theft Auto 3. I love KZ Fru. You love KZ Fru. Do you want to enjoy Grand
日
Theft
本語版
Auto
は実施を
3
置いた。
and
なるほど
KZ
ね。
Fru at the same time? You know what to do, people. Let's get it done. I've also got $50 here from Blue. Love Horizon Zero Dawn and Elk's self-commentary
い
is
や、今
making
ね、
me
ウィキ
appreciate
ペ
the
ディア
game
を
from
見
a
ると、ま
whole
さ
new
にその
angle.
人がやってるみたいで
Let's
す
get
ね。
that bonus game. And we just moved. We're now under $8,000 left. We can push this train. Get the tickets while you can. It is still
ジョン・ウィ
moving.
ックの人がやってる
Last
みた
one
いで
here,
すね。
$50 from Cleric. How do Robo-Dinos store their data? In a RAR file. I'm sorry. Apology rejected. That was awesome.
Yeah, that's 10 out of 10 pun. Who doesn't like a good pun? So coming up here, we just have to talk
ラ
about
ンス・
what
レ
starts
ティ
the
ック
quest.
さんっていう方らしいですね。
And then I'm gonna bring out another bow, which is set up to do more fire damage here. Because we're gonna use that for a particular machine coming up. But first, we're gonna go towards the very
お、
infamous
間もな
blaze
く
skip.
ラス
And
ト
yes,
バトル
blaze skip. As in,
に
you
し
know,
てはちょっ
420.
と
Because explosives in
GTA
this game
の
are called blaze. And this skip
寄
is
付がまだ
usually one that you
あと
always want to get
80
in a
万ほど
run, but it's pretty hard because it's basically a dialogue skip
入って
with
ない
two
のか。
triangle inputs.
70万ほどか。
So the game has those triangle inputs active for about a frame or two, where you can press them in between the first dialogue and the second dialogue. And yeah, so it's basically 2 frame perfect inputs back to back. So let's see what happens. You can see the input there, and it's gonna blink for like 1 or 2 frames.
I'll shut up.
And I didn't get it. You can just spam triangle there, which, you know, some people do. But even if you get the first one, you then have to turn around and hit the barrels here from the behind and hit another frame perfect one. And the problem with the first one, there's basically an audio cue and kind of a visual cue for when it's gonna happen. And we would have skipped this dialogue between Aloy and Aaron, which is playing right now, if we had gotten it.
そうですね。グランドセプトオートが、まあ、10万円ほど伸びましたけど。
If you get the first part, you save 3 seconds. If you get both, you save a total of 18 seconds. So it's a big skip for like frame perfect inputs at the end.
爆弾ステッチで。
But yeah, basically the problem is the second input is completely blind. You don't have a visual cue. And you don't have, you know, an audio cue. You basically just have to guess. Plus, you have to turn around and walk in the very specific angle to hit it. So it's nice when you get in and runs, but it's certainly not a guarantee. But you know, if you have a bad run coming into the end game, you know, getting those at 18 seconds is a huge plus. Like if I had gotten in my last world record, it would have been a 144 loadless time. Anyway, now we're coming up on the next fight here, which is the Derval fight, where we're gonna face the scariest machine of all in all of Horizon. The one that leaves speedrunners sweating throughout, you know, long into the night, just wondering why they are the way they are. And I'm of course talking about Glinthawks, because my goodness, Glinthawks are annoying. They are the most annoying machine, the worst machine in the game. I can't stand them because they are inconsistent. But I'm gonna try my best here. First I have to take out Derval and his 2 goons there, and then the Glinthawk spawn. So first here, I'm gonna do a manipulation here. I'm gonna set this one on fire while walking backwards, and then hit the second one. I'm walking backwards as far as I can to give these Glinthawks as much space to land on as possible. Because, you know, you need to hit them with bombs here, as you can see, in order to take them out. So you want to give them enough space so they can land. Then I'm gonna use the ice cannon and try to hit them here as they come flying in. That's 2. First one is landing, so it's gonna give me a clean shot. Last one is right here. This is pretty good. Nice, got them. That was actually really good shooting on those 4. I didn't miss a single shot. Awesome. That definitely deserves some hype. So Glinthawks, they have weak spots, but all of it in this fight is just covered with armor plating, and if you hit the armor, you only do 50 damage, and you need to do 450 to kill them. And Glinthawks flap around and fly around, and hitting them is just not easy, and even sometimes when you kill them, they take forever to die, because they have a death animation that where they need to fall down and, you know, land before they die, and sometimes it takes forever if you kill them in a certain spot. Glinthawks are annoying is what I'm trying to say. You know, I probably need therapy for dealing with Glinthawks for the last 3.5 years speedrunning this game. Because I know I'm complaining a lot, but just understand Glinthawks are annoying. I hope I'm getting that across. Hopefully flying machines will be kinder in Forbidden West. Because they have already announced a new machine for that game called the Sunring, and I am already panicking over that. Because flying machines just... they are just inconsistent. That's all I can say. Anyway, we got the last quest unlocked now, which has 3 parts to it. The Healer's Fight, Ridge Defense, and then the final battle against Hades himself, or a Deathbringer of Hades. So first we have to go to sleep here, and then there's a long, unskippable cutscene. But that gives me some time to explain what's gonna happen here at the end.
Did I leave anything unfinished?
So, just gonna go through. There's first like 4 cutscenes you can skip instantly. And then we have an unskippable cutscene here, because the game is, you know, trying to hide a loading screen. You know, PS4 problems that hopefully isn't on PS5. So let me just quickly grab some water so I can talk for the, you know, last, I don't know, 12 minutes of the run. So coming up here is the Healer's Fight, which is fairly simple. You just have to walk up to him and shoot him twice with the ice cannon in the head. Problem is, Healers likes to move his head up and down, side to side. He's basically just dancing all over the place. So hitting him is hard. At the same time, he has a ton of goons next to him, which do a lot of damage, because they have like various weapons and they can hit you instantly. So not only do you have to hit him twice, you also have to make sure you don't take enough damage, because you can just get melted so quickly. But if you hit the 2 shots without missing, that shouldn't be a problem. And then after that, we immediately into Ridge Defense, which is by far the longest fight of the run. But also, personally, my favorite, because it's so intense to have a fight like that at the end of the run. Which is basically like a massive wave of machines just coming at you, while you try to defend the ridge. And also right here, we got the upskirt shot coming. And don't worry, it's not what you think. Because a lot of people, when I say the upskirt shot, and that's kind of the joke, think, oh, it's Aloy. No. You will see. It's a bit of a joke, so don't worry about it. Because then Helis is gonna appear. The guy we met back at the Sunring, but he's been here a long time, so we skip cutscenes. There it is, the glorious upskirt shot. Nice. Always nice to see that before the end here. Anyway, now we gotta kill him. Because now the cutscene is over. And I'll talk more about Ridge Defense when we get to it, but just know this fight is gonna happen really quickly if it goes well. Because like I said, I only have to shoot him twice. While the game is fading in for black here, I'm gonna try and hold the movement in the correct direction, so I head up the stairs before it's faded in. And here he is. Got the first shot. Second shot is easy because he's kind of stunned for a bit. There we go, we got him. So yeah, pretty quick fight if you nail it, but it's easy to mess up. Alright, so now Ridge Defense. This is where you're supposed to use a Hologram cannon, which is a very powerful weapon. But don't be silly, this is New Game Plus, so our weapons are better. So there's gonna be these Deathbringers spawning in, which we are then gonna shoot. They have about 4,000 health, so 4 shots here with the ice rail is enough to kill one. Because again, our weapons are really powerful. And then we're gonna snipe this what's it called, Scrabber from the side there. That's a Ravager all the way in the back, and I hope you're paying attention to just how powerful and how much range you have with this gun. Because Ridge Defense is really gonna show you just how powerful you can get this weapon to be. If you have it set up correctly. The thing is with this weapon is it's pretty bad actually if you don't have good modifications on it. But once you have good modifications, my goodness, does it melt things. Now we are going to use the Hologram cannon a bit here for these small enemies. I'm going to try to make this Bellowback explode so he sets all the machines next to him on fire. There's actually 2 of them, but the other one is usually pretty far in the back, so he doesn't do much. But he's moving up close, so looks like we got most of them. We've got 1 straggler right there. Done with that. Then they spawn in here on the right. There's a Scrabber coming down right there. Oh, I'm hit an armor plate, so you saw I only did 50 damage. Basically hitting an armor plate is like missing a shot, because it's like missing a shot, because you do so little damage, you might as well have missed the shot. And right here I'm taking out the Bellowbacks by first destroying the bellies, or the neck, which sets them completely freezes them. And then 1 more shot to finish them off. I take out the belly of the long leg there, and then body shots him to finish him off. And that was pretty much a perfect start for the first half here of Ridge Defense, but there's the second half, which is more of the tricky part. So you notice there I have 2 striker bows out, which both have fire arrows on them. I'm loading both of them up with triple shots, so I can use them for when the Stormbird spawns in at the end here. Also, I'm gonna aim right here, because that's where the next Deathbringer will spawn. Sometimes he spawns a bit to the right, but he should spawn right there, perfectly. So this fight is also about knowing exactly where all the enemies are gonna come from. And as long as you don't miss a spot, or as long as you don't miss a shot, you know, enemies just line up perfectly. But this is also a fight because it's so long and has so many machines to it. If you miss just a little bit, the fight usually just becomes, you know, goes into like domino mode, and you mess up one thing and then the next thing becomes harder, so you mess that up, and then the next thing is even harder. You get the point. So as long as you do it perfectly, which I'm doing so far, enemies just line up perfectly for you. But just missing once will just make you fall behind. Got the Glinthawks coming in here. Problem with this Hologram cannon is, first off, it takes a long time to charge. And second off, the shots you fire with it spreads kind of randomly, so that's why we prefer not to use it as much. But for these Glinthawks, it's fairly nice. Gonna hit him 1 more time, he's dead. Then get over here, aim between these 2 trees, because that's where the last Deathbringer spawns, like right there. And you can see a bunch of other enemies also spawn in here, so this one is the most crucial one. You gotta kill this Deathbringer as fast as possible. Ah, I missed a shot. Okay, this is okay. So now I'm a bit more stressed here. Because then I'm gonna go into this corner to block myself from the enemies on the left. Trying to hit this fella in the back to do some damage on these guys. Kill out the long leg because he's the most annoying if he gets close. The corruptor finally spotted me because he got a line on me. As you saw, I hide in that corner so he didn't get a sight on me. And this guy had no idea where I am. And there we go, we finished him off. Now only the Stormbird is left. He's gonna spawn in the back here, so I'm gonna start lobbing some bombs over here, or some shots over here to damage him a bit before he gets closer. Line up a shot there, and then here comes the fire arrows. One with my fire bow, and another triple shot with fire arrows. Again to, oh, he just hit me at the perfect time. To get him completely fired. Sadly, he hit me there as soon as I, stunned him. So I'm not gonna do too much damage while he's on the ground. I wanted him to be on fire because that way he, he's on the ground for a while. And as I said, flying machines are annoying. So I want him on the ground. Because you can see how he flops around and it's really hard to hit him. All that jazz. And there we go, he's dead. There we go, and that finishes our Ridge events. I'll switch out the firebow again back to my ice rail. And now there's only one more thing to do. We got this last cut, or this cutscene again. And the last fight is the Deathbringer fight at the very end. So, yeah, and time comes up after that fight. Don't worry, there's still 3 minutes too, but just want to point out it's right after the fight. I'll remind you when we get close. So yeah, I just want to, while we get through this cutscene, and there's a path we have to walk to get to the end. I just want to take a time to, thank everybody that's part of the Horizon speedrun community. You guys make this game really awesome to run. I still remember back in 2019, or most of 2019, where I was basically the only person running the game. And then, like I said, in 2020 and 2021, there's been so many new people joining, and the game just came alive again. And it's been a pleasure to run the game alongside you guys, and really push this game to be as fast as possible. So I just want to thank everybody in the community. You all know who you are. Thank you so much. And also just want to thank my own community, because you guys are truly amazing. I can't believe the amount of support I'm getting for what I do from my own community, the Elk Tribe. So thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to doing more speedrun for you, whether it be Horizon here or new games like Ghost of Tsushima, or Forbidden West when we finally get to play it. So yeah, I hope you're looking forward to it, because it's coming up. And it's certainly going to be a great journey too, so thank you so much. And yeah, right here we just have to go through the broken village of Meridian here, which is on fire because of the attack. Gonna try to dodge that at the correct time so I don't get stunned by that long leg. And then we're heading towards the final fight, which is basically just going to be a Deathbringer fight. Normally, the fight is works in such a way that, what's it called? Machines spawn in after you've done a certain amount of damage or a certain amount of time has passed. But this is New Game Plus, and need I remind you, we kill things fast, so we're gonna kill them before any other machines spawn in. So yeah, that's gonna happen. Let's skip that cutscene here. And just a reminder here, just at the end again, if you want to be part of this community, you can find us on speedrun.com/HZD. Where you can find a link to the leaderboard and the community Discord if you want to be a part of it. And yeah, that's about it. Of course, if you want to see more of these runs or see me try and get a 144 loadless PB in this category, which is my current goal for this, check out my own stream. Would be very much appreciated. Or my YouTube if you're more into that. Alright, so I'm getting my ice rail ready here because we're going to use that. Gonna meet up with these guys here. And then restart from save, because that puts us up top where the fight starts. And then this fight here also has a lot of manipulation to it. So I'm gonna try my best to explain exactly what I do here. So skip the cutscene, jump into the fight, make sure I have my health potions ready, because I'm intentionally just gonna tank damage. So I'm gonna walk sideways. It's not working well. Get a little too close to him, I think. So I'm gonna walk sideways here while freezing him. And keep walking sideways, because normally when he doesn't do missile attacks first, if you keep walking sideways, he won't shoot missiles, because you keep turning away from his, the angle where he shoots missiles from. So keep going sideways both sides, and don't get too close, you don't want him to stomp. And there we go, he's dead. And as you can see, I finish off being as close to Hades as possible because I move back and forth. Oh, by the way, that's time, sorry. That's time right there when you stab Hades. I was so focused on fight, I forgot. But nonetheless, great run. Or there was a few mistakes, but it's a marathon run. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And hopefully you understand that last fight there. But essentially, keep moving sideways and move backwards towards the middle again after you hit him or done half his health. So you finish right next to Hades. And yeah, that's the run. That's where the game ends. Or the journey ends for now until the sequel comes out, which I'm most looking forward to. So before I let go here, and I hope the next run is Casey Fru's GTA 3 run. Please, guys, come on. It's GTA 3, we all want to see it. But before I leave off here, I just want to thank, at the very end, Guerrilla Games, the developers of this game, because they are amazing. And they have shown great support for speedrunning. In terms of, shouting. Shouting us out. And not just speedrunning community, but all the other communities for this game, like cosplay, artwork, fan art, so on. They do a great job of really, showcasing what the community do, and it means a lot more to us than I think Guerrilla realizes. And and just thank you to all the developers that have personally contacted me and tell me that they like my speedruns and stuff. I appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to playing your next game. So thank you for making this beautiful game. And that's about it where I want to end. So thank you all for having me. Enjoy the rest of GDQ, because I know I will. And take care, everyone.
はい、ということで。
Thank you, Elk, for the awesome run. And guess what, my friend? Your wish is our audience's command. Y'all did it! Grand Theft Auto 3, $90,000. It's in the marathon. It's happening. It is coming up next. The hype train is departing the station, fully fueled and ready to roll. We could not have done this without all of your support. Thank you all so much for making this happen. I have so many donations to try and get you on. We had a $50 donation from YB. Let's commit some